I got a new name for the show now. The Professional Shit Stir. Big Sills, and good afternoon here, and we appreciate everybody coming aboard, as you always do. What a whale of a week we've had. Big name guests, big topics, and it was a bye week. Got the World Series tonight, Game 6. Hey, somebody, my daughter said somebody needs to do something with that guy, Vlad Guerrero Jr. I don't know, like arrest him. Maybe have Trump's, like, get his ICE guys or do something, because somebody needs to stop that guy. I mean, holy cow, man. He's on his way to winning the World Series MVP. If they close it up tonight and they win Game 6, what an upset that would be over the Dodgers. Dodgers have a $380 million payroll, and they have the sorriest bullpen in baseball. I mean, how do you spend all that money on all those great players and have a shit bullpen when you know in the playoffs you need starting pitching and a bullpen and great defense if you're going to win a World Series? How about the way the Blue Jays, too, have hit with runners in scoring position? It's been absolutely insane. Insane. I start you off with World Series tonight, Game 6, and then we go into, well, the main topic. Miles Garrett. Say it with me. Miles Garrett. Anytime you hear this, that will never, ever, ever happen. Always put to context, it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. The conversation at least will be broached whether or not they're going to move him. I'm going to talk about A.J. Brown here in a second as well. I heard Xander and John talking this morning on Birds 365. By the way, Xander will join us at 3:30, as always. Mike North, back by popular demand. He will be back with us at 4:30, and the legendary Philly Godfather, we will have him. That'll be at 5:30. We'll go over all the NFL football games as we always do, and some of the college games, which are going to be great this weekend. We will do that. Okay. You see this guy right here? Of course, an idiot like this can proclaim that, because he's an idiot. But at the end of the day, his general manager gets on the horn every single day to try to make his football team better. By the way, he tells you that he does that. You know, it's funny. The owner goes like this: we don't want to trade A.J. Brown, but we're going to do, get this. I heard Xander say this, and I started laughing when he said it. Xander, when you said this, I started laughing. We don't want to trade A.J. Brown, but we're going to do what's in the best interest of the Eagles. Okay, that's double talk. That's double talk. We don't want to trade the guy, but really, if you're dissecting that, you know what he's saying? Hey, we don't want to trade the player, but if it made our team better, we would. Every team that's good has that mentality, folks. Nobody in the NFL is untradeable. Everybody is. Everybody leaves. Peyton Manning went to a different place. Tom Brady went to a different place. Joe Montana went to a different place. Everybody in this league is tradable. Get over yourselves. I saw somebody earlier post that Jalix Hunt, he's coming. Are you fucking crazy? Go back and sit at the little kiddie table when you bring Jalix Hunt up in this conversation. Jalix Hunt will never in his entire life broach at any time in his life the level of play that Miles Garrett brings to a football team. He will never be that good. Miles Garrett at 30 will be better than anything Jalix Hunt will be in his 20s. That's a fact. That guy is, look, there are certain guys that are Jerry Rice, and there are certain guys that are Jalen Reagor. Not everybody is equal in the NFL. better players, good players, bad players. We see them on every team. You don't have a football player on your team right now, offensively or defensively, better than that player. It's not a knock. It's just how great that player is. It's not a rip. He's the best player in pro football. There's no getting around it. He's one of the top-rated guys against the run. Everything he does is exceptional. Everything he does is exceptional. Everything. And he's going to be great for the next 4 years. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You have nobody on your team. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalen Carter will never be that good. Never be that good. Eagles landing Garrett with Carter would look like Jerome Brown and Reggie White. It would. It'd be the modern day Reggie White and Jerome Brown. Now, let me ask you something. I heard, and before we get back into if this thing is viable, because I'll give you more of a sense because I had another conversation with Alonzo Highsmith and with Dan Morgan, the general manager of the Carolina Panthers, and Alonzo Highsmith, the senior executive for the New England Patriots, who I told you works with Elliott Wolf. We'll get to you here in a minute. Yes, that's me in the picture. Very good. I'd give up AJ. He brings too much unwanted attention. What's the difference between him and Gardner Johnson? Because one plays offense and the other's expendable on defense. Okay? I'm not saying Suey's not going to be a great Sue. He can be a great football player, but he's not going to be that. I'm not saying Sue, he's not going to be a superstar player. You see this right here? I love using this guy here. 3 first-rounders and 10. Nobody wants Tanner McKee, guy. And nobody wants a broken-down player. Those are garbage players compared to what you're going to have to do. They would want Jalix Hunt or somebody like, I don't know you have anybody on defense. I don't know you have anybody. He wants to give me a guy who's unproven at quarterback to put him next to stupid Dylan Gabriel and a guy who breaks down more than my Hummer for Miles Garrett and 3 ones. Get the fuck out of here with that. It's a garbage selection. It's because it's a homer thought process. Hey, let me give you 2 garbage guys who break down all the time. Okay? I never fucking said that. Wrong guy, dickhead. Wrong guy. All right, I'm going to ask you something here before we get more into this Miles Garrett thing. So, I'm going to take Jeffrey Lurie's opinion here, and I'm going to take his approach. Xander, you said this. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat here. Correct me if I'm wrong, Xander. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. Also, super chats go to the top here. I don't want to trade A.J. Brown, right? But I'm going to do what's best for the team. That's Jeffrey Lurie, right? He said those things, right? A.J. Brown's agent comes to him and says, A.J., here's what's in the best interest for you. What do you think if we go to the Eagles and demand a trade? This is in the best interest for you to go to New England. You get the major targets. You got a young passing quarterback. And it fits. And it's out of the NFC. Why wouldn't his agent have the same conversation with the player that the owner of the Eagles said to you guys? What's in the best interest of the player? Best interest for me is to go where a quarterback's in a pro-style offense that can get me 14 targets a game, be on a up-and-coming football team, a young quarterback, might extend my career catching footballs. Okay? How about that? Sills, we do not need. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not. Again, Sills, we don't need to send AJ, dude. Okay? That's not what I'm fucking saying. So wait a minute. You think there's one-sided conversations? Think about what he's saying here. So what? The only people that talk about what's in the best interest of the Eagles are Eagle management, and players don't have that conversation with their agent on what's in the best interest for me? Ask Milton Williams that. Wait a minute. I'm not telling you that I'm saying trade him. Are you under the impression that I've had fucking agents? Are you telling me you don't think A.J. Brown has had a conversation with his agent and asked him what's in the best interest for me? How many people believe he's had that conversation? Yes or no? How many people have had that conversation? How many people do you believe? Get this. So let's make this move right with the Browns and AJ. No, I'm not mad at you, bro. Oh, great. Phenomenal. Bring a Coca-Cola. I don't care. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm actually talking to you how it works. So here's his agent. AJ Brown's agent goes to him and says this. Not mad at anybody. Here's what his agent says. You know, with those 7 draft choices or 6 draft choices they get over the next 3 years, they might land on a quarterback next year in Cleveland. And you'd be the centerpiece of that football team. John thinks that those guys are a quarterback away. I think they're a boatload of players away from being a contending team in the NFC, in the AFC. Are you guys wait a minute. You think players don't talk to their agents? How did Jalen Carter not play in that Giants game? Guys, you're making more of it. I don't give a fuck what he said, really. I'm asking you guys, how do you think Jalen Carter, who made that decision for Jalen Carter against the Giants? His agent did. Drew Rosenhaus made that call. So what? Players don't talk to their agents and what's in the best interest every single day? I'm not talking to some defensive line coach and Clint Hurt. I'm talking to my agent. You mean to tell me, with a guy who posts as many times as he posts on social media, A.J. Brown hasn't talked to his agent and says, do you think it's best for me to stay here or be somewhere else? I would say if I'm his agent right now, dude, best interest is for you to stay here in Philly. Okay? Micah Parsons talked to his agent so much, he talked himself out of Dallas. Why would you think AJ's doing that? I mean, really? Oh, yeah. Hey, the owner of the Eagles is saying this. By the way, hit the like button, please. The owner of the Eagles is telling you, we don't want to trade him. We don't want to trade A.J. Brown, but we'll do what's in the best interest of the team. Okay? That's fair enough. I believe that's how he operates. You think the player doesn't talk to his agent like that too? Hey, you think it's in my best interest to stay here with a quarterback that's so inconsistent? 1 week I could get 8 targets. Next week I could get none. I've got my ring. I've got my salary. I'm not getting another. By the way, in this current offense, A.J. Brown has no chance on the planet of signing another contract near the money he's making right now. None. Do you agree with me on that? Right now, with this offense being where it is, A.J. Brown will never sign another contract with that money that he's making right now. Not fucking happening. He's not putting the numbers up for it. Bullshit. He's not even on pace to make 1,000 yards now. You're going to pay a guy who's got 800 yards $40 million? Bullshit. Bullshit. I mean, here's a guy who's got 65 catches with 890 yards. I'm going to pay him $40 million. Yeah, right. Remember, you're paid on numbers, not what you think of the player. Those guys are looking for their last deal. I mean, when his contract comes up again, he's not Philadelphia. Get this. Philadelphia in no way is paying him that money again. He's not been consistent in that offense. Bro, last year he had 1,100 yards, missed games. This year he's not even on track to have 1,000 yards. Okay, 1,000 yards at 65 catches at 32 million, 40 million? That ain't happening, Junior. So he's got to ask the question, what's in the best interest for me? I'm guaranteeing you his agent saying, dude, you get another world championship here. You get 1,100 yards. Then in the offseason, we can address this. That's what I would tell him. A.J. Brown's never going to get paid again the way he's getting paid. He'll never get paid like this. Let me take a look just to double check. Mad at people. Yeah, I don't think so. But hey, okay, knock yourself out. Let me see here. Let's see what he's on pace for here. Let's see here. A.J. Brown. So A.J. Brown's on pace right now for 62 catches and 800 yards. That guy's not making money off that fucking deal. He's finished. Still yet a lot of football to be played. Got 9 left of these things, right? Okay. He wants a gold jacket? Well, he ain't getting it here. If he wants a gold jacket, AJ's got to go somewhere else. I made the point to you guys before. You see this idiot? Julian Edelman has 3 Super Bowl rings and a Super Bowl MVP. He's going nowhere near the Hall of Fame. Doesn't have the numbers. He doesn't have the numbers. This guy is obsessed with trying to have AJ traded. I'm not obsessed with any of that. I don't give a shit either way. I'm talking to you on making your football team better and what makes your football team not better. I never said trade the guy right now. I'm talking about the trading deadline. I'm talking about what people would want. You guys are so fucking ridiculous if you enter McKee and Nolan Smith for a guy like Miles Garrett and draft picks that are second-round picks down between 28 and 32. Those are jokes. And for an organization that doesn't get it right, like Cleveland, they want better picks in the top 15. Since when do the Browns get any draft pick right? They got Miles Garrett right. They haven't done a bad job at other positions, but they have not gotten quarterback. Look, they drafted a guy, they let him go. They signed a guy, and he's horrible. Again, these things are all lies. He's a good player. Like I said, I think they're getting it right on other positions. Z asks you which current Eagle are Hall of Famers, and you said Mulata, Lane, and AJ, and you said they view AJ like Irvin. If he gets 2 more Super Bowls, they will. 1 won't do it. If he gets multiple Super Bowls, they'll look at his, right now he's 142nd. Bro, he's nowhere near Anquan Bolden. Anquan Bolden's got almost 14,000 receiving yards and a Super Bowl ring with the Ravens. He's not fucking anywhere near that guy. And when NFL Hall of Fame voters. Why do you think we put Hall of Fame voters on here with you? So that you can get an assessment of what they're thinking. I've heard nobody ever say that. Brown's a Hall of Famer. I mean, Anquan Bolden has superior numbers. Do you see Devontae Smith as a better wide receiver for Jalen Hurts? I don't know. Smitty could be a number one. And I don't think the Eagles think that too. What the F is wrong with people? The trade deadline is approaching, and AJ's been disgruntled. We have the most aggressive general manager in football. Of course, we're going to be talking about trades until Wednesday. Listen, I never said trade the guy. I'm talking about what it would take to trade for the guy. You guys want to put stupid people like in a trade scenario, and get to us. 3-1s might not get it done because you're the Eagles. Let me ask you this. If the Tennessee Titans offered up 3-1s, they're more valuable than the Eagle ones. Use your brains. The Eagle ones are their first rounders, but they're not that valuable compared to teams that are going to pick in the top 15. If you don't think Smitty can be number one, you're smoking crack. I don't think he can be. Not in this offense, no. By the way, okay, well, let me ask you this, Jerry. I'm smoking? Then why did you go next year and trade for a guy? He was the 11th pick in the draft. I don't remember the Cincinnati Bengals drafting Jamar Chase and going into the draft the following year and drafting another number one. Have you ever seen that before? Have you ever seen a football team draft a player almost in the top 10 picks and then turn around the following year and draft another wideout? Have you ever seen that? Or do this. Hey, let's do this. Let's sign a guy at number 10. And then the following year, they make a trade and trade a first-round pick to Tennessee to get AJ in the building. Have you ever name me a team that's done that? I'll wait. Have you ever seen that? Obviously, the Eagles didn't think he was a number one. Why would they get and give up a number one the following year? Am I right, folks? Was that the following year? In the following draft? Right? They went and did this. They drafted, what's his name, in 21. Then they went in the offseason in 22, and they got AJ. What team does that? I don't remember any team in NFL history doing that. It's not about, oh, no, it's, get this. How do you, bro, his numbers and his play speak because the other guy's on the other side. That's why. His numbers, by the way, are on the other side. How about this? Maybe one day. Maybe. Hey, he's going to get his chance. In the next 2 years, he'll probably get his chance. Okay? You had to get a lot. Okay, here. Hey, real quick, before you go on to something, I want to show you guys something. Remember one of our bold predictions about Moro Ojomo? Let me ask you something about Moro Ojomo. Right now, he's got 23 hits on the quarterback. He's got 28 pressures. He's got a rating of 79.5, which is 9th amongst 128 defensive tackles. He makes $1,058,000 a year. How do you like that as replacing Milton? All I hear is people going, Moro Ojomo's okay. I went back and did some work on him. Wait a minute. He's got 23 hits on the quarterback. He's 28 pressures. He's 79.5 rating. Overall, 9th in the NFL. Out of 128 defensive tackles. You take that at $1 million? Those are better numbers right now to Milton Williams. You okay with that? If you're the Eagles, that's $25 million cheaper than what you're paying or would have paid for Milton. I mean, I don't know. You're one of the top 10 defensive tackles overall rated? How about this? I know you're not seeing it with sacks, but you know what you are seeing it with? I don't know. That's a pretty good play. If you're the Eagles, you got to be. Are you good with that, folks? Are you good with that? 23 hits on the quarterback, 28 pressures, 79.5 rating, 9th in the league in defensive tackles or defensive ends. I don't know. Sounds to me like the price is right. Says, would you trade Miles if he was on the Eagles? No. The Browns are in a different situation. That's a train wreck. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, back-to-back years. Is that right? Take a look at that. Let's see here. T. Higgins. No, I wouldn't. For the record. No, I would not trade him because, again, the Browns are in a different situation. Okay? A way different situation. So T. Higgins has been in the league for 6 years. And Jamar Chase has been in the league how many years? Let's see here. He's been in the league, let's see, 5 years. So you're right. It's 2021. They got him for Burrow. Correct. They did. They got him for Burrow. And T. Higgins was the number 2. And T. Higgins is the number 2. So they went and got themselves a number 1 for Burrow. Yeah, there's another example of it. Okay? Okay, so there's an example. They didn't believe T. Higgins was a 1, so they came back and got Chase. Thank you for solidifying my point. They didn't think Higgins was a 1. They came back the next year and got Chase. Great. Says, you think Miami's going to start trading players after firing their GM today? So Chris Greer got fired. Did he get fired today? Detroit drafted a wide receiver with the second pick in 2003, and number 7 and 4, and number 10 and 5, and number 2 and 7. So they got Ahmad St. Brown was a 3rd round pick, wasn't he? Wasn't he a 3rd round pick? I didn't think he was a 1st round pick, Ahmad St. Brown. I think there's only one 1st round draft choice right now. That's a wide receiver in Detroit. Lucius, am I right? Only the kid Williamson is right? Jameson is like the only 1st rounder. There's no 1st round draft choices right now, except for the kid. I mean, Ahmad St. Brown was a 3rd round pick. Right? Ahmad 4th round? Thank you. Okay, so, hey, by the way, Moro Ojomo. Not bad. Were we talking about numbers? Jefferson has more yards and was drafted a year after A.J. Brown. Not sure he's there yet for the Hall of Fame. My friend, the fastest man at 8,000 yards in pro football history is Justin Jefferson. And he's going to continue to get those numbers. He's on pace for 1,600 yards. Your guy's right now on pace for 820 yards. He's not going anywhere in that offense. Are you under the impression? Now, unless they turn it up in the second half and they start throwing the ball more and they get away from Saquon Barkley, his numbers are not going to be anywhere near it. Anyway, so let me get to now Miles Garrett here. Look, I want to make it clear. Trading AJ, I never said that. I never said it. But if you want a player like AJ Brown, you want a player like Miles Garrett, don't start talking to me about Nolan Smith or Jalix Hunt or any of that other bullshit. When you're talking to me about Trey Hendrickson, then you bring those guys into the conversation. You start talking to me about AJ Brown, I want a premium guy, dude. One of your best players. Not some dog, not some guys who are irrelevant. Those guys are irrelevant. No, Sills, I was agreeing with you. He doesn't. Okay. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it. Yes. Okay, yes. What would the price tag be for a guy like Miles Garrett? I think 3 picks at 28. Let's just put it there. I don't think that's out of the realm of being reasonable. 3 picks? Here. Xander said something excellent when he was talking with John about this today on Birds 365. That's right. He's a water boy compared to Garrett. Said something great to John. What would the price tag be for Jimmy Haslam to say, I can't look away from that? By the way, how do you think they got Deshaun Watson? You're not looking at the history of the Browns. You're just not looking at the history of the Browns. What did the Browns have to do? Xander, you too, man. What did the Browns have to do to convince Deshaun Watson to come to Cleveland? Remember we had that writer on, said that there's no chance in hell that Deshaun Watson is going to play in Cleveland. He said there was no way he would ever play in Cleveland. What did the Browns do? Rico, they dumped Mayfield, and what else? They gave him a fully guaranteed contract. That owner is capable of anything. Don't you agree? They gave him $230 million in guarantees. And they dumped the number 1 overall pick. Don't tell me the Browns are not. Dude, the Browns and that owner are capable of anything. We'll never trade him. Yeah, I know. And you would never give a full guaranteed contract to Deshaun Watson, and you gave and dumped Baker Mayfield at the same time. You're trying to tell me that owner is not irrational at times the way he does business? One minute that guy could say to you, I'm never trading him. And the next minute that guy could go like, hey, remember what they were doing? Miles Garrett said, I have no intention of ever playing here. Haslam came in, I have no intention of paying him. Funny, next day, the contract was cut. Guy's making $40 million. You guys will believe fucking anything that people put out there because some people put their name around it. You don't go by people's actions at all. Look at the history. Exactly. That guy signed the craziest contract in NFL history. And you're going to try to tell me the Browns do business normally with 41 different quarterback selections since 1999? Get this. They have had 41 different quarterbacks play QB since the franchise was put back in Cleveland. They signed the worst contract in NFL history. They dumped the number one overall player taken. And you want to try to tell me that Miles Garrett's not for sale? And you want me to believe that the Cleveland Browns think rationally when it comes to football? See this guy here? Andrew Berry? He's got to save his fucking job too. How about this, Xander? Think of this. I heard John say this. Andrew doesn't want to give away. He doesn't want to give away Miles Garrett. Hey, Xander, am I right? Andrew Berry was part of that contract with Deshaun Watson. He's already made a fucked up move. You could save your job with this move. 6 or 7 ones in the next 3 years, you might be able to get a job somewhere else if you get fired for the next guy. Look, I set the next guy up. I believe Xander's right here. He's trying to live up to Howie's standards, and he can't. Joe Douglas tried it too. Got the quarterback wrong in New York. They let Joe Thomas stay and rot in Cleveland. Great point. JD3, let me ask you this. Didn't Miles play a little bit with him? If you're Miles Garrett, don't you look at your boy Joe Thomas and go, man, I don't want that to be me. I don't want that to be me. I just saw my friend die in Cleveland. Think about that, Dave. They won a playoff game with Baker. Jimmy Haslam, shiny lure guy. Ooh, Deshaun? Deshaun's not coming to Cleveland. He'll never play. He was going to Atlanta, Miami, or Carolina, or the Eagles. Jimmy Haslam came in. You know what he did? He bribed him. He bribed him. You know how you bribe him? Fully guaranteed contract. Fully guaranteed. $230 million. Yours. Man, I'll play on Mars for that. I hear all this talk. Never happened. That you're dealing with an irrational owner who doesn't make right decisions. He's as fucked up as Stephen Ross, the Dolphins owner, Woody Johnson. You're dealing with people when you guys are talking too rational. You've got to think irrational when you're talking about the Browns. Remember, Sun Tzu, know your enemy. Know his strengths and weaknesses. If his strengths are in a certain situation, pull back. Adjust. I mean, Howie takes the book Sun Tzu, The Art of War, to the extreme when it comes to dealing with people like this. Right? What about the money and the cap issues they will face? Let me hook you up on something with that. Deferring money. You heard Brian Baldinger yesterday. That shit is so easy today. I'll tell you how that changed. Do you remember those Todd Gurley deals and the the linebacker, Clay Matthews Jr. Remember the Rams? They paid all that money to Todd Gurley, and they paid that money to Clay Matthews Jr. Well, when that CBA got ripped up, they ripped that shit up, and they were allowed to defer money out over an extended period of time when it came to cap hits and dead money. And it gave them also the ability to recalculate these contracts so that you can move. Shit, look what the guy you just signed, this kid Carter. Carter dumped $5 million in guarantees because he wanted out of New York. Don't get caught in the dead money, bro. And plus, Howie's shown you, just like every other GM, Howie ate 31 million. Am I right when I say this? Somebody correct me. I might be wrong. Didn't Howie eat $31 million of Carson Wentz's money when they sent his ass to Indianapolis? So you guys are saying that AJ won't be dealt. Am I right when I say this? He ate $31 million on Carson Wentz's deal when he went to Indy. Right? He's got a track record of eating cash too. Look, the Eagles are a smart organization. You're dealing with it. When Mary Jo Cabot puts that out, we have no intention of trading Miles Garrett. You know what that just did? They're telling you, smoke signal wise, hey teams, you better come strong or don't come at all. Right? That came from the organization. You know all the mouthpieces that the Eagles have nationally? How come nobody local covered it? She's a national person that does cover the Cleveland Browns. But she's a Hall of Fame voter, which means she's national. I mean, by the way, who was the guy that Jeffrey Lurie did that that one-on-one with? I guarantee it wasn't anybody local. Howie knew Hurts was our guy and we need someone to replace AJ. That's the hard part. I don't think so. Producing his numbers, play Moneyball. Get two guys. Why? If you think your guy's who he is, well, that means you don't think Hurts is who he is. Shit, Mahomes got rid of Tyreek Hill. They won 2 Super Bowls. You mean to tell me you can't get rid of AJ or Hurts falls to pieces? Well, then he ain't the guy. You either got to determine yourself, folks, if you think Jalen Hurts is that guy or he's not that guy, that a wide receiver. Josh Allen got better when they moved Diggs. Mahomes won 2 Super Bowls and has been to 3 in a row. You got to determine if you take AJ off that offense, that Jalen Hurts doesn't fall to shit. Well, or if you think he does, well, then he ain't the guy. If your quarterback is determined and his future's determined on whether AJ's on your team, you answered my question for the last 4 years. He ain't the guy. Pick one. Pick one. You mean to tell me you think Hurts can't live without him? Shit, I see these other guys living without people. You got to ask yourself that. Can Jalen Hurts win without AJ? He can't? Okay. All I need to know then, and I know my comments about him are true. He can't win without him. Got it. Hey, thanks, folks. Gave me another great topic. Jalen Hurts can't win without AJ. Let's ask that question. Do you think Jalen Hurts, as a quarterback on this football team, can get a team to a Super Bowl without A.J. Brown on the team? Yes or no? Yes or no? It's a great topic. Telling one, actually. Do you? Well, then what do you care if you're fucking going to trade him? If you think you can win a Super Bowl without him, what's the conversation? Okay. Okay. So you can live without him. That's what you're saying. I'll ask Xander that question at 3:30. Does he think Jalen Hurts and the Eagles can win a Super Bowl without A.J. Brown? If you dealt him. Okay. Well, we haven't. Well, we're going to find out one day here. Every year he's been here, it's resulted in 2 Super Bowl appearances. Okay? Not this year? Huh. So when would it be? When he gets older? Couple more years? I don't know. With the right players. Oh, wait. AJ, not here. Devontae, you said's the number 1. Saquon Barkley, you draft another wide receiver in April. You should be like status quo. All of you are in here saying you can win without him. I don't believe that. I don't believe you can win. I don't believe Jalen can win without him. On a consistent week-to-week basis, we're going to have to find that out one day. I don't believe that. He can there without AJ, but I'm not sure we can win without AJ. I don't believe that you can win without him. Did Kobe win without Shaq? So now you're comparing Jalen Hurts to Kobe Bryant. Not quite that talented, my friends. Sales, my take. See you, AJ. I want Garrett in a 3-peat. I don't know you have to listen. I don't know you have to put AJ in that trade. I don't know if Cleveland would even want that. My point to you was, don't start throwing Tanner McKee at me and Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith? What if you put Nolan Smith on the open market by himself? What do you think he would command? A 3rd rounder? For a guy that's hurt a lot? Maybe a 2? A low 2? Shit, Nakobe's not getting anything more than a 4th or 5th. Sills, he's really good. I didn't say he wasn't. Would you trade Davis? No. He's been my most consistent defensive tackle. Davis has actually played well. No. Actually, I think Davis has played more consistent than Carter. Carter's making bigger splash plays. Carter's like Jerome. He's a splash player. At any moment, he could destroy your game. But there's times and lapses where you see he'll take a play off. He's a little lazy in his technique. He's undisciplined. But he'll make these flash plays that will put Carson Wentz on his back, force a fumble, and a pick six. And you're like this, looking at the production chart going, holy shit, that's a great play. No, I'm not destroying my draft. Listen, Howie, look at all the, by the way, somebody do me a favor. How many picks right now does Howie Roseman have next year? Is it still, see, the Bennett thing, Fred thing? What does he have? 10 picks? Plus the comp picks? So he's got like 9, 10, 11 picks, something like that, somewhere in there. I think maybe he's got like 9. I think, right? And he'll get more. This guy's going to make and continue to improve the team rounds 2 through 7. Those first round picks, dude. Listen, Quinyon Mitchell. Remember, you got Cooper DeJean. He's really built his football team. What do you think he's had more success in? The first round or the second round in the last 5 years? He's got 10 picks, Rico. Okay. What round has Howie Roseman had the more success in? The second or the first round? I think Nolan Smith. I think he's okay. I think Jordan has been solid. Okay. That second round, he's been gold. Jalen Hurts is in the second round. So when you're okay, listen. You see this, Jeff? If you're telling me that's a tough call, it's pretty good work in the second round then, don't you think? It's pretty good work in the second round. Would you agree? If it's close? 14-19-1 without AJ. The Bomb Lang will say Hurts is better without him because he beat the Giants. I'm not really going after. I mean, it's nothing to do with Jalen. This is about improving your football team. Okay? Don't ever tell me that a guy like Miles Garrett with an incompetent owner like Jimmy Haslam is off the table. It's idiotic to think that. You know why? You're thinking reasonable. Name me one thing that Jimmy Haslam, since he's been the owner of the Browns, has done that was reasonable. I'll wait. The Odell Beckham thing was a train wreck. You got rid of Baker. You fired numerous coaches. You picked Shedeur Sanders, and the coaching staff and the general manager hate him. And you want me to try to think common and normal NFL brain cells wise that the Browns owner knows what he's doing? And that just because Mary Jo Cabot put out, there's no way we're trading him? There was no way you were trading for Deshaun Watson either. Then he guaranteed his contract. How are you not following the owner's actions? More people believe people's bullshit than ever before and not follow the paper trail. How crazy is that? I heard John, and by the way, I give John credit, man. He wasn't, and nor was Xander. They're not shutting it down either. They think it's real. And then you hear people go like this. Hey, by the way, you think if somebody came to Howie Roseman and said, Howie, I'm going to give you 3 first-round draft choices for Jalen Carter, and I'm going to send you Vita Vea. Would he do it? Probably not, maybe. Or would he? Of course he would do it. 3 first-rounders? My point there with that take is that don't tell me that if you put enough on the table, somebody's not going to budge. Everyone has a price. Do you agree, folks? Everyone has a price. You think Xander would have a price and Joe Krauss on selling JAKIB? Would you have a price on selling your home? Would you have a price on selling your car? Or your favorite item? Everyone's got a price. And when you say no, you're being stupid. He hired Howie's guy. That's number one good thing he's done. And Howie's guy will convince Jimmy to not do dumb shit. Let me put this out here for you. And I got it 41-33. Listen. Howie's guy, and he's going to try to convince him not to do dumb shit. Hang on here. You know what the dumb shit is? It's keeping the guy and not getting value for the player where you need multiple places where I disagree with John. John thinks that team is a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contender. The Browns? Who's their running back? Judy is... the roll line is older. I mean, they're nowhere offensively. I think the coach is good. I think Kevin Stefanski's a good coach. But that team is so far away. I'm like, listen, I guess the point of my conversation today is it's not whether or not to trade AJ. It's not whether or not to think if the Miles Garrett thing is, I have it written down here. Look at this. I haven't even touched my notes again. Look at this. Again, day 2. If you think players don't talk to their agents, AJ talking to his agent, hey, you think the best interest for me to stay here? Why, the teams talk like that? You think it's in the best interest AJ's here? I guarantee you, if A.J. Brown went to Howie, I want out of here. Howie would have serious conversations with the owner. Let's see if it's in the best interest of the Eagles. Your owner told you that. Did he not? We're going to do what's in the best interest of the Eagles. The Eagles think it's not in the best interest to trade him. They're not going to. But if somebody came with a package, you know everyone has a price. You're being like, you're just not being real with yourselves. Everyone has a price tag. Everyone. Okay? Okay? Yeah. Well, Alba Malata. I'll use a line from some people. Shut up and play left tackle better. Seals, not trading 3 firsts for Garrett is like not giving up your Powerball tickets for a golden bar. Okay, I like it. Bob, I'll tell you flat out here. 3 1s? I'm not sure that's enough. You're talking about, and I agree with Baldy. There's about 15 guys in a first round that are superstar players. Nolan Smith's not a superstar player. Jordan Davis is not a superstar player. Those are good players. Quinyon Mitchell is a great player. Q was in the second. He don't count. Campbell looks like he's somebody. Half the year in. See what he does. See how it plays out. Remember something. 1 year or half a season, I tried to tell you that with Nolan Smith last year when everyone was telling me, hey, did you see what he did in the last 7 games of the year? Who fucking cares? I said it to you, man, in the preseason. He's not a 17-game NFL season guy. He'll never play 17 games. I would get this. Out of the gate, that's one of the ones I nailed in the offseason. I said that guy would never play 17 ball games. Not a chance. Not a chance. He'll never play 17 games. So when you talk about paying the guy, that guy will never play a full season. The owner has to ask a simple question. Do the Browns have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl in the next 3 years? It's a great take. Garrett's value in the next 3 years. Right. No way. That's the contract, and that's what Mikey's doing. The contract was for 4 years. Over the next 4 years, Mikey, you think the Browns are going to be in the Super Bowl? That's the question. Not whether or not you think you're close. Well, yeah, kind of. My question would be in the next 4 years, if you put Patrick Mahomes on the Browns, you would be a good team. You're not going to the Super Bowl, but you have to land on Patrick Mahomes. If you landed on Sam Darnold, you're not going. If you land on Kyler Murray, you're not going. Like, you have to land on Drake May. Look at the New England Patriots. They fumbled the whole thing with Mac Brown. They got lucky and landed on Drake May. Mac Brown's not a bad quarterback. May's better. I think Mac's done a nice job in San Francisco. It's a complete failure by New England. Mac Jones is a complete failure by the New England Patriots. But I give them credit. You know why? They went back into the draft and weren't afraid and got another quarterback. Look at here's the greatest example of this. So look at the Giants. And this is all on trading Miles Garrett. You mean to tell me the New York Giants couldn't have traded Daniel Jones to anybody? The guy's the MVP right now. I mean, he's the most valuable player. I was under the impression Brian Daboll was a great coach for Josh Allen. Josh Allen was a turnover machine in Buffalo. So in the last year and now, you mean to tell me between Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones, both the players have a combined record of 13-3? Barkley last year, what was he, 14-3? Actually, what was it? 14-3 last year. And now this year, he's 6-2. That's 20-5. And right now, he's 7-1. That's 27-6. Within the last year, you've gotten rid of Jones and Barkley and combined the records with those guys on separate teams. I'm now 27-6. You're John Mara. What are you thinking? 27-6. And you couldn't develop that? And you act like a child on the sideline when you're Brian Daboll? You're screaming at neurologist? And you want me to believe that the Browns are not trading Miles Garrett? Because they make great decisions. How does it not mean? Those smoke signals that teams send out. Like when the Eagles go like this, I'm not trading A.J. Brown. I believe, by the way, I believe the Browns and I believe the Eagles. I do. But everybody's got a price. That's what that comment is. The comment is this: I'm not trading that guy. Well, wait. Can we have a conversation? How about this? What's the one thing? Guys, I think you'll all agree with me on this. By the way, please hit the like button. I think you'll all agree with me on this. What's the one thing they're not saying? I'm not going to not take a phone call. Shut it down by doing this. We have no interest in listening to anybody. That's not what they're saying. We emphatically are not trading those players. They're not telling you we're emphatically not picking up any phone calls concerning A.J. Brown or Miles Garrett. It's lawyer language. When you hear people going, I will never pick up a phone call or have a conversation on trading that player ever. Get this. I guarantee you, in the last 5 years, some idiot has picked the phone up, called the Kansas City Chiefs, and asked about the availability of Mahomes. They have. You know why? John Lynch called the New England Patriots for Tom Brady. He told me on the air. That doesn't mean they're not going to not going to say, hey, listen, we're not dealing that. Every single guy. Joe Montana got traded to Kansas City. You know what he did that year? He put that team in the AFC Championship game. If Joe Montana could be traded, anybody can be. Biggest regret, Ed DeBartolo said to me on my program, was trading Montana. And he had an MVP in the room in Steve Young. Eddie D never wanted to get rid of him. I'm like this with Mr. DeBartolo. Two biggest mistakes he ever made was letting Charles Haley go and letting Montana go. Just how much does it cost to trade the number one defense? Well, a lot, because you have the cheapest defense in football right now. Great quarterback. Mobility, everything. Okay? I mean, no doubt. If Haslam is hedging on 3-1s, nobody said he's hedging. Then throw AJ. No. I'm not doing 3-1s and AJ. Not happening. I'm not looking to destroy my team. I'm looking to improve my team. 3-1s and AJ for Miles? You know what? I'll stick with what I got. Remember, I'm 6-2. You're fucking 2-6. I'm good. Remember, I'm in the room with everybody now in the NFL. I'm not in desperation mode. I want to get better. See, the Eagles, according to John thinks they're a quarterback away. You know what the Eagles are? They're an edge from outdistancing the league. If I were the Browns, I'd probably think about that more. If we put Miles Garrett on the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to lap the field for the next 3 years. Do you want to do that? How about this? If you were going to be the number one contending football team in the next 3 years, where you were the team to beat, and the only people that were going to beat you were you, and you sent 3-1s to Cleveland, how don't you make that deal? I'll tell you, you get that guy in your building, you get that guy with Vic, it would be a question that I would throw out whether or not you'd lose 7 games in the next 3 years. You might not lose 7 games in the regular season combined. You'd be like 15-2 every year. And if you're the Browns, I wonder how much pressure you're getting from the league and from other GMs. Don't send them to Philly. I've got a better deal in the offseason for you. Don't send them to Philly. You think the Cowboys are getting on the phone with Andrew Berry going, hey, get this. Don't you think this? Hearing all this rumor about Philly putting 3-1s up, Jerry Jones must be shitting his pants. Well, he shits his pants anyway because he's 99. But anyway, he must be sitting there going, holy shit. I mean, and they let Parsons go. Jerry going back and getting Miles Garrett at 28, and you had the younger guy and you send him to Green Bay. Shows you how incompetent it is. Jerry Jones would be changing his depends 4 times a day if that guy Miles Garrett lands in Philly. Tell you this, I wouldn't be shocked if Washington is involved in it. The chances of them moving him. How about this? The chances of them moving him is probably 20%. The chances of somebody coming in and over-offering and making them move outside the building is 100%. Let me ask you this. Do you agree? Probably 10 to 20% chance they want to move the guy. What do you think the percentages are of teams that have offered packages for Miles Garrett? 75%? 80%? If Howie Roseman's offering 3-1s, you would have to think the rest of the league is offering, correct? Lisa, how about this? Let's be conservative. Half the league? You're right. The chances of the Eagles moving AJ, 5 to 10%. How many teams have called for him? 65%? Sounds about right. What does that also do for Howie? He knows the market value for AJ. This team wants to give this team wants to give that. By the way, you keep taking phone calls and you find out what the value of your players are. And you find out what the value of those players are, because if they're compatible with yours, then you understand what the market is when you have to offer these guys contracts. Don't you get it? The number one thing when your agents and your GMs are talking, you know market value for players. That's why you never not take a phone call. You know the market value for Miles Garrett. By the way, the market for a team like the Tennessee Titans are 2 first-rounders. Why? Well, they're going to pick in the top 5. Those are more valued picks. Yours are going to pick from 25 down. You're not as valuable. You're 3. The Cleveland Browns, their value picks, because of what they did with Jacksonville last year for Travis Hunter, those guys have a massive amount. They already got 2. You get another one, you're going to have 3 first-round draft picks next year. Try to find your QB. Get yourself a QB, and maybe get yourself a wideout. Would I compromise? Get this, ask yourself this. Would I compromise Miles Garrett for a football team that's going nowhere for 7 first-round picks in the next 3 years? Whew. I'd have to say, yeah. And like I said about Andrew Berry, say he gets fired. He walks into his next opportunity. Hey, guess what? It's the Browns. I set him up They got 7 first-round picks over the next 3 years. I traded Garrett away, and Haslam was the one that wanted Shedeur Sanders. I didn't want him. Haslam's the one that wanted Deshaun Watson. I didn't want him. Haslam was the one that wanted to move off of Mayfield. I didn't want to do that. Remember something. You know who brought him in the building? John Dorsey. John Dorsey's the same guy that brought Patrick Mahomes to Kansas City. You think there's any coincidence to John Dorsey picking quarterback talent? It surely wasn't Andrew Berry, and it wasn't Jimmy Haslam. Baker Mayfield is considered one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now. And the other guy that's sitting number 1, Mahomes, John Dorsey picked him. And there's no coincidence that his ass is sitting in Detroit with Brad Holmes right now. How do you think Detroit's done when it comes to drafting? Good or bad? How do you think Detroit does in drafting? You got Brad Holmes and you got John Dorsey in Detroit right now. I think they're in pretty good hands. Those 2 guys together. That's why Detroit's sitting as one of the teams to win the NFC. And that's why the Browns are dog shit. Because they don't have everybody in the room. And they got a guy pretending to be for Halloween, Howie Roseman. This guy must dress up as Howie Roseman every day when he shows up to work at the Cleveland facility. Fortunately, this guy's just in a costume. He ain't that guy. Simple. You know, people all day long were texting me going, nah, they said they're not doing it. They said they're, and I'm going like, man, you're talking. Okay? I don't believe any obstacle would be whether the Eagles would pay the price. The obstacle would be whether the Browns would move him. That's totally true. That's from Zach Berman. That's exactly right. Remember something. You guys in here are talking common sense. Don't think normal. Think stupid. Like Marquise. Think dumb. I'm picking on you, and I'm kidding. Think dumb. The Browns are dumb. You're thinking with common sense. Don't think with any sense. The Browns don't have any. The Browns have had 41 quarterback changes at the position since 1999. Who in the world do you think would ever think that all of a sudden they're going to pop in and make the right decision in 2026? You have a record of incompetence. Just a complete record of incompetence. Philly, you have a record of making right decisions. You know what else you have in Philly? You have a record of a guy fucking up and moving quickly. Look at these moves he's making. He knows he shit the bed at corner. Howie Roseman trading for 2 corners inside of 3 months because he couldn't replace Slay. I'm not killing him for that. Again, you could kill him because at the beginning, all of you thought that Slay was going to be replaced. It wasn't wrong not to replace Slay because he's dog shit right now in Pittsburgh. You're not wrong to replace him. But they didn't replace him with an adequate talent. The drop-off has been too severe. The drop-off with Ojomo has not been. The drop-off with Burks has not been when he got Campbell and Dean and back in there. I think the drop-off at safety has been enormous. Safety and corner have been bad. Actually, I think the drop-off is at guard, too. I don't think Sting, get this, I think Sting's played well. I think he's a good player. He's just not the player that Becton was. Becton's not giving them anything in Los Angeles right now with the Chargers. But Becton a year ago was sensational. Sweat's a drop-off completely. Sweat's one of the biggest drop-offs. Sweat and Slay are enormous drop-offs. People, God, Jalen Hunt's coming. Incrementally. Like, look, I'm seeing him more. I am. I've said that on the post-game show. Hey, Dan, do you think that if Hutchinson stays healthy, he could be the next Miles Garrett? Or is that far-fetched? Where is there somebody else you would have in mind that could be the next grade one? Jared Verse. I think the kid with the Rams has a chance to be the next dude and the next guy. I think Verse. I'll tell you what, but the Rams, man. You get the Rams and Garrett, put him on the other side. Wow. Holy shit. You put Hutchinson and him together in Detroit. Detroit's got a lot of money still. They got cap space. I mean, plus Detroit, Cleveland, you're not that far away. Family doesn't have to move. Browns. Look, if Miles Garrett was on the Eagles, I would say that's not they would never trade him. Say they were a 9-8 team. I don't believe they would. You know why? They're a competent organization. They're going to fix things. They're going to be better next year. Like, I'm confident in this. If the Eagles ever had another down year where they were like 10-7, I'm very confident the following year they'd be north of 12 wins again. The Eagles are on the conveyor belt of success. You know why? They think progressively. They think with forward thinking. The Browns, they think in the now. Every single person on my network and on the air in Philly is thinking like the Browns now. That's the problem with the Browns. They're not progressive thinkers. They're not thinking of the future. They're not thinking of what they need to do to make their football team better. Shit, you know, right now, Howie Roseman's already thinking about 2028. He's thinking about 26's April draft, 27, 28. He's there. He's not here. Howie's like in a time warp. Those are the great GMs. They're in time warps. They're going out. You know why I think Howie didn't have a very good offseason here? He's thinking so far in the future that the guys who didn't pan out this year, that's a disappointment to him. He didn't do anything wrong. The player performances were, and the evaluating was wrong. Letting some of those guys go. Okay. Seals, can you ask Armando if he thinks any Dolphin players will be traded by the firing after the firing today? I think everybody's available. Tagovailoa is the new Carson Wentz. He is dog shit. Boy, I'll tell you, he is one beat up dude. One beat up dude. You know, Chris Greer, you want to hear the difference? Let me show you something here. Folks, Chris Greer, the GM of the Dolphins, hasn't had a win in 10 years. And it took him to today to fire him. Not one win in 10 years. 10 years. A decade. did not have a playoff win. You imagine Howie Roseman not having a win in Philly? In 10 days, you'd be screaming at him. 10 years, that GM. Oh, and by the way, Brian Flores was right. He was right in the end. When they wanted him to lose games, tank games, owner came to him because they wanted to get better draft picks. Flores had turned the entire organization around. They started winning. He was right. They fired him and put Mike McDaniel in, right? And he sued him because they wanted him to lose games and tank games for the draft. He says, I'm not losing anybody. He was right. It's a shitty owner and a shitty GM. They were in cahoots with one another. And what they did was they sacrificed Brian Flores as a head football coach, and they blamed him and threw him under a bus. I don't know. Looks to me like Brian Flores was right. Right? At the end, he's right. It's a shitty owner, and it's a shitty GM. Well, you got that same shit going on in Cleveland. And I'm sitting here thinking, wait. They're never trading Miles Garrett. That's not the question. The question is, are you picking phone calls up for him? And I think everybody in the league has called them about him. That's a contender. You're not calling them if you're the shitty Jets or the shitty Dolphins. You got your own mess to clean up right now. But if you're New England, if you're Kansas City, Detroit, the Rams, Washington, Philly, Dallas, probably not Dallas, because they had to give up the equity. Well, they got equity back from Green Bay. Maybe Dallas. You're calling them. In most GM's defense, Sills, most GMs ain't going to be on their current team in 2028. Fair enough. Fair enough. Look at this. Look at this right here. I haven't even used my content. I'm still on my open page. Well, it drives me crazy when I hear, well, they said they're not. I mean, this thing's high. Here, before we go to Xander here, tell me if you think this is true. There's a 10% to 5% chance you trade A.J. Brown, or a 10 to 5% chance that you would trade Miles Garrett. I'm going to use Xander's line, and I 100% agree with him. Everybody's got a price, bitches. Everybody's got a price. I don't care who you are. And how about this last one before you go to Z? You're right. There's a 10% to 5% chance you'll trade AJ or Garrett. Half the league, though, you would agree with me, over 50 to 60% of the league have called on both players. Yes or no? You don't hear these organizations saying, stop calling about AJ. Stop calling about Miles. They give you that Jeffrey Lurie answer. I'll never trade AJ. We don't want to trade him. Xander said it this morning. He goes like this, but we'll do what's in the best interest of the team. That's double talk. Correct amundo. Correctamundo. Happy Halloween. Andrew Berry, you know what he went as? He went as Howie's knee pads. Without further ado. Dude, I love the conversation they had today, too. By the way, I couldn't believe what I was witnessing John was actually fucking entertaining it. And he was not shutting it down. Because he knows the GM's behavior. Remember, you're not dealing with sanity in Cleveland. That owner is mental. Without further ado, we bring in our friend, Big Z, Xander Krauss. And here we are, brother. How you doing?
What is up, Sills? A happy Football Friday to you. Even on a bye week, it's the greatest day in football, Big Sills. I freaking love it, my friend.
Okay, 24 hours after the fact, my little soliloquy that I went on about, hey, dude, it's the Browns.
By the way, go ahead.
You're acting like the Browns, not you. Everyone's acting like the fucking Browns have made right decisions.
Yeah,
they
right.
dumped Baker Mayfield. They gave a guy a guaranteed contract, fully guaranteed, and the guy's been a stiff. We're not talking about an organization, Xander, that does the right things.
Yeah, or a general manager for that matter. The guy's living on his reputation from working with Howie Roseman. What the hell has he done? This is the same guy who just took a quarterback 3rd round and 5th round, and he's the only quarterbacks left on his roster. He had 5 of them. Andrew Berry is not a good general manager because he worked for Howie Roseman once upon a time. That doesn't make you a good general manager at all. By the way, you missed the good part of the show this morning. I know me and John had a nice conversation. I was erupting on Xander time after John left the show. I was going back on Lil TJ. I'm calling him Twiz is now TJ. What up, TJ? So I was roasting people. This is a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
A no-brainer.
No-brainer.
You're talking about
no-brainer for both.
I think for both too, because I'm still waiting for someone to properly explain to me why this doesn't make sense for the Browns. Now, the one thing that did make some sense that Sig Lord said this morning, which was very good, is Andrew Berry holding on to Miles Garrett for personal reasons because he knows he's not going to be able to make the 7 picks anyway because he's getting his ass fired. So if you're a general manager in his shoes, do you give up Miles Garrett for picks that come down the road where you probably aren't even taking those anyway? Or do you keep the player that's going to the Hall of Fame, even if you suck? That makes sense from Andrew Berry's perspective of, I don't know. He doesn't know if he's going to be there.
Well, let me play the other side of that. Say I do get fired at the end of the year because the team right now blows out loud and because of the decisions that have been made at quarterback. Don't you walk into your next prospective job and you're talking to an owner going like this? Most people, when they get fired, leave the cupboard bare. I left the cupboard stacked full for the next guy, and I gave them the ability to make sure that they're in a great place. Cap-wise, I made sure that they're in a great place. Drafting-wise, that program is set up for success for the next 3 years. Or do you want to be this? I held on to Miles Garrett, and I sat there with Miles Garrett and did dick with the guy, and the thing has nowhere to go right now. And the only thing we did was move that pick for Jacksonville, and we got another pick last year. You're not getting another GM job. But at the end of the day, Xander, if I'm setting up the next guy, I don't know that's a bad thing. Because remember, you're dealing with shitty owners. Look at a guy in Miami. Look at Haslam. Look at Woody. Not every NFL team is fair because do you not agree? Jeffrey Lurie's the reason Howie Roseman is Howie Roseman. You think Howie Roseman would be Howie Roseman with Jimmy Haslam? I don't.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. But Jimmy, does spend money. And part of it is, just the willingness to spend money is where the general manager can take it in a better direction. And that's where I think he wouldn't do that.
He will spend money, but he doesn't hire quality assistant general manager.
He doesn't do it. They don't make the right decisions. They make rash, bad decisions. They've continuously made bad decisions. They have 2 fucking seasons above 500 in Miles Garrett's tenure. Somebody said to me this morning, well, he's like Howie. He's not going to get rid of a trench player. I'm like, oh yeah, because that philosophy's taken him pretty far, right? That philosophy's working for the Browns. They're 2-6. They suck again. And by the way, I think they lied to Miles Garrett in the offseason when he signed the contract. I think they told him they were going to get him a quarterback. They ended up giving him Dylan Gabriel. Guy sucks. Now Miles Garrett's slamming his helmet on the sideline because he's like, I'm delivering 5 sacks and we're still getting blown out because Dylan Gabriel blows.
Let me make the point to you about Andrew Berry. So you're telling me you fired John Dorsey, and John Dorsey's the guy who drafted Patrick Mahomes and drafted Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield's now a top 5 quarterback, and Mahomes is a generational player.
That's all for Baker.
Okay.
No,
how about this?
He's a top 10 quarterback. He's
okay. He's a top 10 quarterback, and the other guy's a generational pick. You fired that guy and put that guy in the building. Remember who drafted Miles Garrett? John Dorsey.
Dude, they make all bad decisions. And by the way, you know the other thing here too, and I get it. I think we all know that the big problem here is not really the Eagles. It's more will the Browns do it. But why are some people so infatuated by draft pick? We're the second youngest team in pro football right now. We have the second fewest players above 29 in the National Football League. We are a young roster stacked with young talent. We do not need to save on to every draft pick like it's our last dying breath. We drafted good. That's what the last 4 years were for. We have a 7th rounder in Moro Ojomo right now dominating the trenches. I mean, come on, man. It's time to go and get an established player to pair. Think about this, Sills. Leave offense out of it for a second. Let's just hone in on the defense. If you can make a trade for Miles Garrett and you don't give up these players, don't give up Jalen Carter, obviously. Don't give up Jordan Davis. Don't give up Zach Bond. Don't give up Cooper DeJean, and don't give up Quinyon Mitchell. Give up any of the other. Give up Ojomo. Give up any of the other people. It could be Nolan. It could be Jalen. Now you have Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and Miles Garrett on your defensive line. You have Zach Bond and/or Nakobe Dean or Jahad Campbell as your linebackers, and you have Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean as 2 corners. Dude, that's the best defense we'll ever have. That would be better than last year's defense.
That would rival the talent of Gangrene.
I think it's better than Gangrene.
Do you think that Howie's had more success in the 2nd round or 1st round?
Off the top of my head, I'd probably say 2nd round, but I can think of some 1st round picks that he's done very well at. I mean, he's gotten better at 1st round picks, I think, progressively as his career has gone on, and you're looking at better picks recently.
Remember, put the value there too, though, with money.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, though, like what's the core of our team right now? Smitty, 1st round pick. Jalen Carter, 1st round pick. Nolan Smith, not really a core player, at least not yet. 1st round pick. Jordan Davis, potentially a core player, 1st round pick. Quinyon Mitchell, core player, 1st round pick. Cooper DeJean's a 2nd round pick. Tyler Steen's a 2nd round pick. Cam Durden, 2nd round pick. Jalen Hurts, 2nd round pick. Yeah, they're both pretty good, to be honest, but probably more success in the 2nd.
Okay, so my point is, right, those 1st round picks, bro. Xander, I'm sure you've dabbled in the stock market, right?
Oh yeah,
it's a gamble, right?
Stocks. If I ever get any loose change after paying Sills his bonuses.
Hey.
I don't have much loose change for the stock market right now, but I look at it, I dabble a little.
Okay, do you agree? You do all the studying you want. You can do all the research you want.
Right.
You don't know what that stock's going to go up 10-fold, 5-fold, what have you, right? You have no idea. Mm-hmm. You get an established superstar player like Miles Garrett, there ain't no question in that stock. You got to buy high, right? Yeah. You buy high on that.
Draft picks are lottos, dude. That's what they are.
That's right.
They're lottos. They're lotto tickets. You win some and you lose some, you know, and sometimes you win bigger than other times. Miles Garrett is a no-brainer. I said this morning, and I honestly mean this, and people will say you're crazy. They're not going to have to do this, so it's a pie in the sky comment. It doesn't even matter. I would be willing to go to 4 first. And the only reason I say that is because I want people to understand what I believe the Eagles should be willing to give up for this player. This is a player that you should be willing to make. You have to make the Browns say, I have to take the deal.
Yeah.
Because we are in the position to give that much up. And Keith, you're not going to have to actually give up 4. It's more of showing we have to be willing to go that in on it to bring back this player, because I believe the next 3-year window, I think you could win. You could do what the Chiefs did. You could win 3 Super Bowls in the next 3-4 years.
I think if you brought Miles Garrett here, you'd probably lose 7 games in 3 years.
Yeah, that sounds right. I mean, assuming health, obviously. Health.
Total.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, dude, this team would be insane. I mean, this team would be nuts.
And you have 10 picks next year?
I just think it makes so much sense. I mean, we don't need to. Why does everybody, we got this comment earlier. All right. It wasn't a live comment. It was after the fact. So I wasn't live when I saw it. This guy's like, why does everybody want to sell our future? I don't want to be good for 2 years. I want to be good for 10 years. We have Jalix and Nolan, and we have more picks. And I responded, I'm like, brother, find me anywhere in the history of the NFL where a Super Bowl window has stayed open for 10 years. Nowhere. It took Tom Brady an extra 10 years to rebuild the team to go back to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl windows do not stay open for 10 years. And if you can assume, hey, our Super Bowl window has been open since 22, how many more years of Super Bowl window do we have? With this roster, maybe not many. With Miles Garrett, does he add another 2 years to that?
Yes.
Can you get another 4 years of Super Bowl window now?
Yes.
You're not going to just get, hey, we got 10 years Super Bowl window because we kept all our first-round picks. Doesn't work like that. No, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to bet against history. 10-year Super Bowl windows doesn't happen. Never has happened. I mean, even the Cowboys, they won theirs in what? How many years? 5, 6 years, whatever it was?
3 and 5. 3 and 5.
3 and 5 years. I mean, so what are we hanging on the first-round pick? If this guy's this good, you got the young defenders that go with them to pair it up with this defense, and you got all your offense paid. You're not going to have to pay Nolan probably. You're probably going to take Jalen Carter might make, what, 32? You're probably going to shed one of the offensive contracts at some point. Plus the salary cap's going to go up another $25 million every year. And by the way, Miles Garrett cap hits, have you looked at them if they traded them? They're like $1 million this year, $8 million next year, $15 million the following year. Doesn't change anything for Howie. Doesn't change anything for Howie. You're going to be able to pay Carter. You're going to be able to pay Davis. You're going to be able to pay Quinion and Coop. And you're going to have Miles Garrett. I mean, this is a no-brainer. That's why I said 4 first, because we should make it so crazy that Jimmy Haslam walks into Andrew Berry's office and says, I don't give a shit what you're going to sell me. That's too many assets for this football team. That's what I would do. And if that's 3 ones, a 3 and Nolan, or 3 ones, a 3 and Jalix, I'm doing the deal. How
about this? I just got this. David Njoku, the tight end. Would you be interested in him? Eagles' names are being thrown around with that potentially too as a potential tight end.
Who is it, Njoku?
Yeah.
I mean, I like that player. He's a little older, but
he is.
We're
not talking high picks. We're probably not talking high picks or
5 or 6 or something.
He's a Miami kid. I know him very well.
Yeah. He's good. I like him. He's 29, I think. Yeah, he's 29. He'll be 20. He'll be 30 in the offseason. So, I mean, he doesn't fit the role of like life after Dallas Goedert because he's basically the same age and he's got the same problems. He's injury prone. I mean, he's had up and down career, but yeah, I mean, maybe. How good is he blocking? He is a big dude. I know that.
He is. Listen, when he's healthy, he's a fabulous ball player.
Yeah, I know. Fannin took his spot. That's why they're thinking about moving him. I don't know. As a tight end 2 here, it might not be a bad move, but I don't know. I'm a little bit more focused on the. I'm a little bit more focused.
You're shopping at Neiman Marcus right now. You're
not. Yeah,
really
I'm not shopping at. I'm done with the Temu shopping.
You're not going to Wawa.
Yeah, I'm like kind of out on that, bro. Like I'm like done with Temu trades. All right, like make a splash or just sit on your hands. Holy shit!
I got a question for you. Do you think that Jalen Hurts can win a Super Bowl without AJ Brown?
I think he could, but I think he'd have to improve his game. I think he'd have to be a more consistent quarterback. I think he'd have to elevate the team more week in and week out. Something he hasn't really been asked to do since the 22 season. 23 too, but the defense was so bad. I mean, I think he just have to be more consistent, but I think he could do it. I mean, look,
So right now, you believe he can do it?
I believe he could do it with getting more consistent. I mean, here's the thing I like about Jalen Hurts that we always were going to be able to say in Philly. And Dallas, for example, can't say. Dallas could be like the greatest regular season team, but they're always going to have in the back of their mind, like, is Dak going to perform in those big moments?
Yeah.
If you're Philly, it's like
Lamar too.
Right. If you're Philly, it's like all we really got to do, and I know you got to do more than this, I'm just talking about bare minimum, is get to the playoffs. And if we get to the playoffs, Jalen has showed, if not consistently, in those one-off moments, he can be really freaking good. So it might not look as good. You might not win as many games if you got rid of A.J. Brown. But if you get into the playoffs and talk about Miles Garrett being on this team, I mean, yeah, I think he could win a Super Bowl without AJ. I do think it would require a different version of the player, though. You know, I think he'd have to be better, flat out. I think he'd have to be more elite, more consistently, week in and week out.
Here's, you know what, and Xander, if it came off what I was saying earlier when I was talking about AJ.
It was my fault. I misread what you were saying.
What I
throw AJ in just to get the deal done. I'm like, I don't know if that.
Yeah, no. Here's where I'm going, because you and John were talking this way. Don't you think Jeffrey Lurie, first off, was double talking when he said this? Listen, I don't want to trade. And I happen to agree with you and John. They don't want to trade. Dude, the Browns don't want to trade Miles Garrett, and the Eagles don't want to trade A.J. Brown. However, didn't your owner just get through saying on a follow-up right after that, I'm going to do what's best for the Eagles?
Yeah.
Well, dude, that's double talk.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if that means moving him, that's double talk. So my point was this. Don't you think A.J. Brown goes to his agent and says this? Don't you think it's in my best interest right now to go and demand a trade to go to New England, to get hooked up with a young quarterback? It's high volume throwing. They have a 18th ranked rushing attack right now.
Well, you're selling this too hard.
Follow me.
Yeah, that ain't a good situation for A.J. Brown over there, dude. It's
Where,
not.
New England? In New England?
Oh, New England. I thought you said Cleveland.
No. I'm saying
okay. My bad.
I'm doing this. If I go to my agent, hey, you know what? You think it's in the best interest for me to go to a young upstart team? I played for Mike Vrabel. Vrabel didn't want to get rid of me in Tennessee. They're 19th ranked or 18th ranked in rushing. They're 5th ranked in passing. They have a high volume passer. They're in a weaker AFC East. Isn't that in the best interest for me? Because would you agree with me when I tell you A.J. Brown's not getting a contract like he has right now in Philadelphia ever again?
Well, I mean, the part of that is age. I mean, 30-year-old wideouts don't get that massive contracts.
I'll tell you what. If you give me a contract that's $34 million and I'm still getting you 90 catches and I'm still getting you 1,400 yards, you're going to pay that, dude.
Yeah, I get that. My whole thing is like, with a guy like Miles Garrett, it's like you send a lot, but it feels like it's worth it for both sides. With a guy like A.J. Brown, if you're going to trade him right now, that's where bad business comes into play, because you're never going to get back what that player is worth where he is. Like, seriously, Sil, you want a second-round pick for A.J. Brown right now?
No, I saw that stupid comment.
I think Eagle fans are a little delusional about what the value is of a 28-year-old receiver making $32 million. Nobody's giving a 1 for him. I'm sorry. I don't think so. I think a 2 is about what you're going to get. And it might even go down to a 3 if
you're in. Did you get Christian Gonzalez for him?
That's an interesting conversation. I mean, if you're getting Miles Garrett, no, I wouldn't do that. If you don't get Miles Garrett, that's an interesting conversation.
How about this? Q, Reed, Christian Gonzalez, Cooper, and you address your corner next April's draft. That's a pretty formidable secondary, bro.
Maybe. Look, Philly Dogs has a 3 in the summer. This guy, Philly Dogs, he's a $32 million wideout, making going to be 29 years old.
I agree with you, Xander.
It's a 3 in the summer. You might laugh. You might say, I know nothing. You might AJ's worth 2 first round. That's not
true. He's not.
Go look at the NFL, dude. Nobody's trading for wideouts like that. Nobody, especially ones making $32 million. Don't care if he's a 3-time. What's Devontae Adams 3-time All-Pro? He's probably a 5-time All-Pro, Devontae Adams. He got traded for a conditional 3, dude. Come on. You're
Xander.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's Delulu land, which is fine.
Here. You know what? And I'm going to give right now, I'm going to give Eagle fans a reality check right now. If you wanted to trade, I'm going to leave the quarterback out. If you wanted to trade Saquon Barkley right now with his history of knees, it'd be a tough pick to get a 1 for him. It would be tough to get a 1. Same with Derrick Henry. It would be tough to get 1s for those guys with all the miles they have on them. I mean,
this is why trading.
You're delusional players. If you think you're getting a 1.
This is why trading great players has always been bad business, because you never get back what it's worth for the player to be for your team. You know, again, right now, AJ Brown. This is why trading him is kind of stupid at this point, because unless you really need to shed the salary, it makes 0 sense if you're doing it for draft capital. You're going to bring back a second for AJ Brown. I mean, he's more valuable to me on the roster.
And weaken your off. Yeah, you're right.
And weaken your off. It's just like, all right, I'm not doing that. So
here, watch this. If you
put Dallas, got traded when he was 30 years old, dickhead. These people, holy shit.
If you're trading Dallas Goedert, he's probably a 4, or putting him on the market. Jordan Mailata, you probably get a 1 back for him. Dickerson, you would never get a 1 because of the history of knees. Jurgens, you're not getting a 1. Steen, you're not getting the 3. You're probably getting a 4 for him. Lane, how many people believe you're going to get if you put Lane on the open market, you get a 1? No, you wouldn't. He's 35 years old.
Here's another thing to add, too, to the wide receiver talk. Colleges are spitting out wide receivers like they're nothing now. Look at how many receivers are coming up in the next draft. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Ryan Williams. There's so many receivers in college football now because that's the game. So in order for a team to send a first-round pick for a wideout, it's probably going to be a guy that's hasn't gotten his second contract yet, or a guy like DK Metcalf. What did they trade DK Metcalf for?
I thought it was a 4.
DK Metcalf trade. Steelers received DK Metcalf in the 185th overall pick, while the Seahawks received the 52nd and 223rd. They got a second-round pick.
Okay, that's high.
And by the way, that was before he got paid. They paid him after a 5-year, $150 million contract. That was before, he got paid. AJ already got paid.
Yeah. Yep.
And by the way, another story that people aren't going to like, those numbers that AJ Brown is not happy with and that are awfully low right now come into play when you're trying to trade a player.
Absolutely.
People are going to say, wait a second, he had 1,500 2 years ago, then he had 1,000 and missed a couple games. Now he's down to 300 and 400 yards this year. He's not the same player. I know you think he's the same player. I do too.
I do too.
But that comes into it.
No, well, it's called negotiating. They're going to use that against them. Absolutely, they're going to use that against them.
Dude, I'm so jazzed. If we got Miles Garrett, oh my gosh, I will be like M. Reyes.
What did John's take? Because I was kind of shocked that John bid on it. Now, I think he bid on it because of the behavior of Howie. Now Howie picks the phone up. Okay? Do you agree with me what I said? I go, look, there's probably a 5 to 10% chance the team truly wants to trade, right? Right?
EJ?
But would you not no, for Miles Garrett. Don't you think, though, at least 60% of the league has called them about him?
Oh, yeah. But there's not – this is where I think the Eagles are in a rare spot. I know their picks are lower, but other teams aren't going to be willing to give up 3 first-round picks because their rosters aren't as built as ours. If you think about that. Like, we have one of the youngest rosters. We have a lot of talent on both sides of the football right now. And we have a lot of picks. Like most other teams, like even if a team like the Patriots, they're probably like, dude, I can't give up 3 1s right now. Like, I want to get better at the edge, but we got too many holes to fill. You know, even other teams like the Chiefs. Somebody brought up the Lions, the Rams this morning. They're not giving up that many picks. I don't think so. I mean, the Rams aren't going to do it. They got to get a quarterback soon. Matthew Stafford's pretty old.
Yep.
So, we're one of the rare teams right now that would be willing to give up as much draft capital as we are, even with the picks being lower. I think that's a big part of the why the Eagles are, could be at the top of this thing. And the other thing you can't leave out here, the Eagles wanted Michael Parsons too. Bad. And Miles Garrett's that level of player.
And they were in the game.
So they're whether it happens or not, the Eagles are trying to make it happen. And again, you said it. Nobody loves shooting these things down more than John McMullen. He didn't shoot this down. He said it's unlikely Cleveland will move him. Andrew Berry doesn't want to trade him, but he knows they're in the conversation.
I don't think it's Andrew. I think it's the owner. I think right now he's in the room, whatever the owner wants. I want to throw this at you here. It's funny. I had somebody ask me this earlier, and I remember I think we all made a prediction on this player here. 23 hits on the quarterback, 28 pressures, 79.5 rating. He's 9th out of 100 and almost 30 defensive tackles in the league. And he makes $1,058,000 a year. How you feeling about that Ojomo over there playing D-line for you right now?
Feeling real good about Ojomo. Feeling like my off-season prediction might actually be on point. I thought I was way off. I mean, shout out to Milton Williams, who's played really great in New England. But Moro Ojomo has really done a nice job. I mean, how much of this is coupled with, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the play well, and it has in New England, but that third DT here in Philly, you got a third rounder cooking. Now you got a 7th rounder cooking. And I know Jalen Carter might not have had a good year, but one thing that Jalen Carter is doing week in and week out is he's eating up blocks. So is Jordan Davis. So I think that third DT in Philly is having a big, is really being able to get, make some moves here in Philly because of obviously who's lined up next to him now. Weak edge rushers. Now imagine Miles Garrett. Ooh,
yeah, and that hurts probably Ojomo more.
Right. But I think Ojomo has been great, man. I think he's been great. I mean, that's a 7th round pick, guys. 3rd-year player.
That is a massive grand slam.
That's a home run.
That is such a great. By the way, the team. Who's number 2 in rush defense in the NFL? Patriots. I mean, Patriots number 2 in rush defense. I mean, they're a little suspect in the secondary right now, but boy, I'll tell you what, that's pretty impressive. I know. Look, he's not number of sacks.
Yeah, that's amazing, dude. Those are good, dude. 4 sacks. He's a DT. We're midway through the year, less than midway for this team. 8 games, 9 games to play.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. And again, I'm not even a sack guy. I think the total body of work is more important, but he's got good numbers right now too.
You put Garrett on that team with Ojomo,
and
bro. Someone asked me in Cleveland last night on a text message. They go, "What if do you believe the Garrett conversation's real?" I go, "Oh, I believe it 100%." Do I believe the execution of the deal? I go, and then you start talking about poor ownership. Right. This comes down to bad decision makers. This comes down, like you said, Xander, if I owned a business and I, over the next 3 years, could cut my losses, and we've done this, cut the losses, get rid of the overhead.
Yeah.
Where am I going to be in 6 months? Where am I going to be? Am I going to have more assets? Yes. I'm going to be able to gather myself, be able to pace myself, get 7 first-rounders, help my guys be able to make proper decisions when it comes to getting personnel. I don't think Kevin Stefanski's a bad coach. I think he's in a bad situation.
I don't think he's a great coach.
Well, how can you be a great coach in Cleveland? He has gone to the playoffs.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't think he's been bad. I'm just,
I think he's won Coach of the Year twice.
Yeah, which sometimes to me is, well, it's because they had 2 winning seasons above 500. And anytime you get above 500 in Cleveland, it's like the Super Bowl ring. Parade them, everybody. By the way, I got to rip John. I mean, John, this where he's talking like Cleveland's a quarterback away. I'm like, oh, yeah, they've been saying that for 30 fucking years since Bertie Kosar, who you had on this show. I mean, that team is not a quarterback away. And by the way, Wake me up when they find that said quarterback. All right, because it's never worked once, and now all of a sudden it's going to work. No way.
Well, you're
No
not
way.
sold on Deshaun Watson.
No, and Dylan Gabriel's a stick. They should just make sure at this point. I mean, what are they doing with that Gabriel kid? Again, though, another bad decision by that front office.
That's right. That's
a third and a fifth. Two quarterbacks.
That's my point, though, that I'm trying to make with people. You can't think logical when you're talking about the Browns. So when people go, they're not moving them. Dude, they moved Baker out of the room and paid a stiff.
I'm telling you, and I think people are way off on this Andrew Berry guy, John included. John's talking to me like, oh, he worked for Howie. He's not going to make bad moves like that. I'm like, dude, he's been a stiff. Well, what has he done for Cleveland? What has Andrew Berry done for Cleveland?
Okay. So
I mean, seriously, Miles Garrett was there when Andrew Berry showed up. He just happened to
Dorsey drafted him.
Yeah, he just happened to show up with the greatest defensive player of our generation. Oh. Yo, is Miles Garrett better than Aaron Donald? I think he is.
I never thought of that.
I think they're the two greatest defensive football players of the 21st century, probably. Is that fair?
I don't know where Ed is in that. Ed Reed's in that.
Yeah, Ed Reed's definitely in that. I know it's all different positions. It's tough to compare them.
Garrett's better against the run, dude.
Dude, he's the best. He's the best edge right now against the run in football, and the best pass rusher in football. The guys, I just saw somebody saying, Kill, I think it was you. He's gonna have to learn the playbook. I'm like, my guy, Kill, I love you, brother. Miles Garrett is not a kind of guy that comes in and he needs a week to learn the playbook. That's a guy who puts his hands in the dirt and absolutely obliterates anybody on the other side of it.
No, you say this to him. What do you want to run?
Yeah, what do you want to run? Miles, go over there, brother. Come on, man. This isn't Jalix Hunt we're talking about or Nolan Smith. This is Miles Garrett.
Who do you think has a better second half? AJ, Ertz, or Barkley?
Barkley 1, Hurts 2, AJ 3. Barkley just because he's had the lowest first half.
Okay.
Jalen 2 because he's on pace for a hell of a season right now. Don't look right now, but he's on pace for his best season ever as a quarterback, passing wise. You know, he's on pace for almost 4,000 yards, 3,600. He's on pace for 30-plus touchdowns, and he's only got one pick through 8 games.
But if Barkley's numbers go up, his will come down, like they did a year ago.
Yeah, that's fair. But you can still have really.
His efficiency may go up, though.
Yeah, I mean, look at last week, right? I mean, he only threw for 150, but he had 4 tutties. I mean, he was like 17 or whatever in that game, 15 to 20, I think he was in the game. So, I think Jalen continues to have a really good year. He does look focused as shit to me this year, man. He really does. He's locked in. AJ, I just, you know, I don't know. I love AJ Brown. I'm a big fan of him as a player, and I understand the competitive nature. I feel like more than some are willing to understand, but I just don't know if this is the offense for him. You know what I mean? Like ever since Barkley came here, like this team it's okay. It's just kind of what the offense is, though. They're not really that offense that if you listen to the way AJ speaks, he wants to dominate like a receiver in a traditional pass offense does. And I don't know if that's coming. Now, the one caveat I will give is if they do stick to this play action thing they ran the last couple of weeks and they start to live in that zone a little bit more, then I think A.J. Brown is going to have a chance to have the best season of the 3. Or best second half of the 3. But that's again, I still think what you always say. I got to see a little bit more of that before they're going to do that week in and week out.
All right. Here's one for you, too. Has Kevin Patullo dropped the Bobo? Or are you still in Bobo status right now with him?
I'll go Bo. Instead of Bo, he's just Bo. So he's Bo Patullo for now.
I'll go fucking Bo.
Not to be confused with Bo Nix. Bo Patullo is who it is. But no, I don't think he's there yet. I do think we were probably real hard on him early, and I understand why. I mean, some of the stuff felt so basic to do, you know, and then he started doing it and it started working, and it's like, dude, you got all these playmakers. This is basic football we're talking about here. It's not like, you had to reinvent yourself in the Sean McVay offense or something. But I think he's finding himself as a play caller. I mean, it's a new thing, like this is why you were ripping the hiring in the summer a little bit. This is a new thing for him, man. Even if he becomes the greatest offensive coordinator ever one day, which I do not believe he will. But even if he did, he would have to go through a learning process at the beginning. And he's going through that. I think he's showing some signs. I think the most optimistic way to look at Kevin Petula right now is the red zone success. I mean, he did it backwards in a way. Most other coordinators can figure out how to go pick up a first down. They struggle when they get in the red zone. That's when the field gets smaller. Defensive coverage has changed back there. You start to see different looks. He's been great in the red zone. So I think that's a big credit to him. I think that's also a bigger credit to Jalen Hurts because of his playmaking ability. But I think he's finding himself. I think he's finding himself a little bit, but not quite free from the Bobo land yet.
How about this? Don't you think, especially with – now, I think it's easier for Andy Reid to be a play caller when you have one central target to go to for Mahomes. When you're a brand new play caller, don't you think it's harder to get multiple stars involved to try to be able to feed everybody?
Yeah.
That's quite, don't you? I mean, think about it, Xander. If you have one dude like in the Jordan offense that takes all the shots, you're not really thinking about getting everybody else involved, are you? You're getting Jordan, right. And you have to worry about playing defense on the other side.
Especially in this offense, too, right? I mean,
right.
If you have a distributor, it's a little easier. Yeah. Jalen, like, let's be real. There's only so many plays in a football game, and Jalen takes some of those plays because he's a playmaker. You know what I mean? He's not like Tom Brady never took any of the plays. He was a passer. So if you're throwing the ball 35 times a game, you can get 10 here, 10 here, 8 here, 8 here, and 5 here. Jalen throws the ball 25 times. He takes about 5 to 10 plays typically himself, with the run game and some of that stuff. And then you have obviously a high-powered back, a high-volume back in Saquon. So just not that many. There's only so many plays to run in a game.
Here's where I'm going. Kevin Petula has a harder job than Vic.
Oh, yeah. Well,
you got to get all those. Hey,
Vic runs
a defensive scheme.
It's like pick your hard, though, What's a better problem? Having to lose 5 starters and make garbage to go and turn garbage to gold, or quiet, AJ Brown from running his mouth because you got too many good playmakers.
Well, who's
had that problem?
Well, who's had a harder job of it?
Kevin, but Vic's got all the experience.
Oh, that's why you don't hire a first-year fuck when you got all those issues like that on that side of the ball.
I agree. But hey, I mean, I was high on parade fumes in the summer. I didn't think it was a bad move. Looks like I was wrong.
No. I think the run game shocked people, and it hurt his development as an offensive coordinator. You think he's getting better, though?
I do. I think you've seen clear improvement. I mean, I think the other thing they got to factor in, like Jalen's having his best, one of his best seasons right now. Does the coordinator have anything to do with that?
Yes.
So, I mean, look, I think there's a lot of context here. But we'll see. We'll see what he can do in the second half of the year.
I'm going to show you something on Green Bay. Tell me if you're buying this on Green Bay here. By the way, bottom of the hour, legendary Mike North will be with us. We'll get to the Supers here in a second. I want you to tell me if you think Green Bay is overrated or underrated here after I give you this.
Okay.
They're number 7 in total offense. They're number 7 in passing. They're 16th in the run game. They're 5th in scoring. They're 7th in red zone. They're 3rd in third down. Defensively, they're ranked 6th. They've got to have one of the greatest balanced teams in the league right now because they're 7th in total offense. They're 6th in total defense. They're 15th in pass defense. They're 3rd against the run now. That's incredible. They're 10th in scoring defense. Here's something here that's kind of a shocker. They're 22nd in red zone. That's going to be a factor Monday night. The number 1 red zone offense versus a shitty red zone Packer defense in red zone. But they're 4th in third downs. It means they get off the field. So overrated, underrated.
I think they're fairly rated. I think they're a contender.
Stand.
they're a contender, but I mean, until they do it in the playoffs, they're going to have to prove more. I mean, remember the Eagles have certified themselves in playoff land, like the Chiefs have. Maybe not to that level yet, but they've at least
they have. They have in my eyes.
They have, right. So, the Packers are great right now. The Packers they got a lot of talent on their roster. There's no doubt. Speaking of great edge rushers, look at what Michael Parsons did for that defense. They're playing at a whole new level right now. I am Miles Garrett. I am everybody who wants to keep their first-round picks. But I got to see it a little bit more.
Hey, dude, that Rashawn Gary on the other side is no shit either, man. He's a pretty good-looking ball player, too.
He's a great ball player. But I just there's something about Jordan Love where, like, I don't know what it is. Sometimes it's just the eye test for me. And it's not even like he looks bad. It's just I just feel like he can turn to a pumpkin at any time. I really do. So we'll see. I think they're a good team, man. I think it's going to be a good battle next Monday night.
What do you think is going to be the biggest matchup issue?
I don't really think we have too many matchup issues in this game, actually. I mean, they have decent secondary, but nothing great there. So you could probably pick on that a little bit. For our issues, though, you're probably looking, it's actually not wide receiver 1 or 2. It's more 3 and 4 because they got like 4 or 5 wideouts who can catch the football. And you got after Quinion and Coop, and they got Tucker Kraft. So they got a lot of players over there.
I think him coming across the middle of the field is going to be something to keep an eye on in this game against your safeties.
Well, and the other thing is you could see some Jahad Campbell out there because he's actually a pretty good matchup for Tucker.
I'm going to start Campbell in that game over Dean.
Yeah. Because of Kraft?
Because of Kraft.
Boy, if they get Kraft on Reed Blankenship, good night.
Or even Makuba.
Yeah, Makuba too, but either one. If they get either one of those safeties lined up on,
I might even start Cooper DeJean at safety in that one there. Put him.
They're not going to do that,
bro. Because
remember they got Josh Jacobs.
The biggest threats are going to be running in there with Jacobs and catching the ball with Jacobs and. Dude, this kid Kraft.
Kraft the best tight end in football right now.
Boy, you know what? Let me take a look at his numbers here. I saw him the other night. I could not believe what I was. Get this, he's on pace for 1,200 yards receiving and 15 touchdowns. How many catches? 100. Dude, he's his number 1 target.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy stats, right?
That's a tie net, like you said. Is he the best? I'll tell you what, last night, Andrews looked pretty fucking good last night with Lamar. And albeit it was the shitty Miami Dolphins who have surrendered.
Yeah, I caught some of that game. I was watching there's a new Allen Iverson documentary on Amazon.
Yes, I gotta watch it. How is it?
I didn't finish it. I just watched the first episode, but it was good. I can't wait to watch the rest of it. I'm gonna watch the rest of it. So
he's my favorite Philly athlete of all time.
That makes sense. Just the story, everything about him is just an awesome story. I think he was actually in Philly last night for some event. I forget what it was, but I love AI. So I was watching that. One of those game shows where I didn't lock in as much as I normally do on the football. I just kind of had it on. What's on tonight? I know the World Series, but I know that. I'm watching that. But Sixers are on tonight. I'm watching the Sixers.
They've you know what, man? I got to tell you, man. I'm sorry to tell you this. Listen here. Once again, you're being poisoned.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'll tell you why I'm not.
So you're buying it.
I'm buying it. There's also some sentimental reason to me. I grew up a Sixer fan. That was my number 1 team. So I was growing up. When I was a kid,
Daryl Morey.
When I was a kid and came down on Christmas morning, I didn't have Eagle merch under the tree. I had Sixer merch. I was a Sixer guy. I loved the Sixers growing up. So
did I.
I'm happy to get back into the fandom. So maybe that has slanted me a little bit. But the NBA is a guard league. And when the Eagles drafted Joel Embiid and built around him, albeit as talented as he is, it was always an unconventional, different way to do things. Now, I know Jokic has come along and the game has changed a little bit, but even with those players, this is a guard-driven league. It's a guard league, the NBA. And for the longest time,
3-pointers.
they were selling me our point guard was a guy who was afraid to shoot. I mean, think about that. So, like, you build this identity around a team, that you build this fandom around a team, and it's just like when it doesn't work, it almost burns you out. Where we had these no guards, and then they draft Tyrese Maxey a couple years ago, and I remember watching his rookie year, and I was all high on him, but I always thought he was going to be swept under the rug because of Joel Embiid. And then they draft this Edgecombe kid. They come into the year this year. They got these two old farts on the team, Joel Embiid and Paul George. When they go, I think this team is really going to be able to compete for a championship because I think Tyrese Maxey's become a superstar. VJ Edgecombe is the most athletic player in the draft by every metric. He's leading the rookies in all categories. And you got this backcourt now that's fun again. You have a fun backcourt that's capable of winning in the modern NBA. Are they there yet? I don't think they're there yet. But the East is wide open. The Sixers are playing with energy. 10, 9, 8,
hey.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh,
Bills!
Hey, you're buying a guy shooting 37 points a game. Anyway, I can't believe, dude, you're telling me Maxey's averaging 37 points a game right now?
Maxey, yeah, he's cooking, dude. I can't. Dude, Maxey he's not a star. He is a superstar. Mark my word. That kid is a fucking stud. And VJ Edgecombe is a player, too. VJ Edgecombe is a player. Pumper can say all he wants because he wanted Ace Baylor.
23.
Game is on Amazon Prime tonight, Pat, I think. It's an Amazon Prime game.
Yeah. 22 threes averaging right now, the rookie. You got two dudes at 17-8, and you got a beast.
Yeah, he's leading all rookies in points per game, assists per game. He's got the most total assists and the most total points. They're all rookies.
Bro, how could the rookie have more rebounds per game than Embiid?
Now you got this fun-ass team.
I'm going to start calling that guy Donut.
I'm happy because I really am not going into this Sixers season with expectations that they're going to go and win a championship. I don't think they're there yet. But what I am looking to do is I'm looking for the new era of the Sixers. You know, fold the process era, fold up the Joel Embiid era. Look, if he stays here as a role player, that's fine, whatever. I just need – my problem with Embiid right now is I think the team needs a traditional center. I need a pick and roll center who can get boards and protect the rim. And Joel Embiid doesn't really do that anymore. So it's like, does he fit when you got these fast young guards who are running all over the place? You know, that's why I like that Dembona kid, that backup center. You know, he was drafted in the second round last year. So I don't know, man. I'm feeling good about him. I don't really have crazy like.
The Celtics are limping out of the gate too. You know, the Celtics are limping out of the gate.
Turn it around. I mean, I think the Celtics are still a good team, but I do think the East is wide open. I mean,
how about the way the Bulls are playing?
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I haven't watched much of them to give an opinion on them, but they got a nice young roster. They got good guards too, and you know, they got some good players. So, you know,
don't go to sleep on Giannis in Milwaukee.
Nah, you can never go to sleep on Giannis, but who's he got with him this year?
Dude, they got nobody. They dumped everybody in the offseason.
I mean, so it's like, you know, I think the Sixers are actually in a good spot. Bro, I ordered I give a bunch of Sixers merch, but I ordered a new hat with the old logo. So when I get that, I'm going to rock that on the show next week. Sixers might be 5 or 6-0 at that point, baby.
Boy, man, I mean, AJ Green, Miles Turner, that's on the Bucks. Shit, they dumped everybody. You're right. Who knows? I mean, by the way, Morey adds somebody else, right?
Yeah, I mean, Morey has not done a good job when it comes to the trades and the signings of the free agents. I don't think he's done well. But the drafting, I mean, you can't. They picked up Edgecombe 3. They picked up Tyrese Maxey at 21. They picked up this Bona kid in the second round. I mean, Quentin Grimes, I think they traded for Quentin Grimes, if I'm not mistaken last year. He wanted the contract. I mean, he's done some good things, Daryl. I mean, I've been hard on him, but I think he's done some good things. We got to get to some supers, dude. We got a $50 banger we didn't even read.
Yeah, we got to. Before we get to Mike North here, let's get to the supers here.
Look at this.
Ishmael.
$50 banger, baby. Let's go. Let's read this thing. He says, is it conceivable that a player selected in the 7th, 6th, or even late 9th round could be developed Ninth round doesn't exist anymore, but could be developed effectively with the appropriate coaching staff. In this context, draft picks can be viewed as dividends. Keep it going, Sills and Xander. I understand what you're saying, though. I understand.
Well, Tom Brady was a sixth rounder.
Moro Ojomo, who you just got done talking about, is a seventh round draft pick.
I mean,
Jason Kelsey was a sixth round draft pick. I mean, you know, a lot of our team, if you look across our team, they're not all first round draft picks.
Remember something, when you start paring down after the 15th pick every year in every NFL draft that has been known to mankind, it starts paring down to best player available. When you get down to best player available, that's when you start. The most successful round in pro football history is the third round. And that's where you get value, and that's where you get most players landing in the right spot.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's go to Sean here. What's up? Ishmael, thank you, dude. $50.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Here's Sean. Last day of the month, too, by the way, everybody. So get him in. We appreciate it. Sean says, if Miles Garrett was on the Eagles right now and to keep him for the next 3 years, we had to give up our first-round draft pick each year. Who the hell would not do that? I would give 4 in a second. Sean, I'm with you, dude.
But remember something. There's incompetent franchises on the planet. Mike North knows one. It's the McCaskies and the Bears. And the other one is the Cleveland Browns and Jimmy Haslam.
Yeah.
You want to know how to run an organization into the toilet? God rest your soul, Virginia, but you stunk as an owner running the Bears. And right now, Jimmy Haslam stinks running the Cleveland Browns.
You know, what a legacy he has. Not very good. Not a very good owner in sports here. All right, let's rattle through some of these. We got a bunch of them. Appreciate everybody. Here's Dirty Dave. In most GM's defense sales, most GMs ain't going to be on the current team in 28. That's true. Brian Fleming says, everyone's got a price and everyone's got to pay. Very true. Dirty D says, some teams want Super Bowls and some teams want superstars. Well, Dirty D, you can have both. How about that in Philly? All right, because you got the Super Bowls and you got plenty of superstars. Come on in, Miles Garrett. The water is fine, my friend. Dirty D again. I'd give 3 1s and a 2 for Garrett. If Browns don't take it, you know why they continue to suck. So true.
True. They're going nowhere.
I would give the house for Miles Garrett right now. I just can't.
7 first-round picks the Browns can have in the next 3 years.
People keep telling me it's too many draft picks. And the only thing I can think about is Miles Garrett, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Zach Bond, Cooper DeJean, and Quinyon Mitchell. That'd be the best defense in football. They would be your cornerback too. You wouldn't even know if Keely Ringo was on the field because the quarterback would be running like this away from Miles fucking Garrett. Come on, man. Here's Pumper. It sounds good. A bunch of tomfoolery around these JAKIB streets today. Vince McMahon status. No chance in hell we get Miles.
There you go. Corporate pump. There you go.
There's Pumper and TJ Twizzler. TJ Twizzler don't want us to get Miles. Here's Sean. If the Garrett trade goes down, I bet Tanner goes. I could see that.
Sure.
JD3 says they have to be just fielding offers, driving the price up. Because if we really offered 3 first, he should have been on a plane this morning.
That's right. That's right. They're getting closer to the trading deadline.
Remember, I think the biggest thing with that, JD, is it's not enough to make the owner butt in and say you have to take it. And it's not enough because Andrew Berry's probably thinking, I ain't going to make those picks because they're going to fire me anyway. Why am I going to trade away the Hall of Fame player? My legacy will then be defined as I traded away Miles Garrett and got fired. It's a bad look for him. He's protecting himself. Khaled says, Patriots haven't played jack shit. Weak schedule. Yeah, I think they get a little harder. Who do they play this week? I know the Colts played Steelers this week.
I don't know who they play here this week here.
You got to look at that.
Yeah, I'm not sure who they play here. Let me take a look at that. Who they play?
Eagles on a bye week.
I think New England plays. By the way, Mike North is coming up next year, folks.
They play the Falcons.
They play the Falcons. That'll be interesting. Okay.
Colts, Steelers, Bears of the Bengals. That's an easy one. Saints, Rams, Chiefs, Bills is a good one. Seahawks, Commanders are the Sunday night game. Another primetime game. Where are all the Commander fans that were here all summer? We got all these primetime games. You're 0 for fucking 3 in primetime, and you're about to be 0 for 4.
Hey, I got to tell you, Mike North had quite a take on LeBron James today. I can't wait to get to that.
All right, let me rattle the rest of these. I got like 4 more. David says, Zay, if we get Miles, I'll be extremely insufferable. Oh, it'll be a problem. Sills might cancel our daily segment.
Oh, my God.
Browns owner, make the effing deal. I'm with you. Kyle says Yahoo Sports is now reporting Eagles eyeing for potential trade for Jalen Phillips.
He thinks he's going to
go
be traded.
Vic, but
I texted him last night after the game.
Know, people just fired the GM. It's either going to be this: the owner's going to say fire sale, or he's not going to let the interim GM trade.
There's going to be a fire sale. He
One
thinks.
or the other.
By the way, Rosenhaus represents him too.
Yeah, but you're going to let an interim GM make trades with some of your assets? That's a bold move.
Stephen Ross.
Sill's not dressed up as Hurts today. I went on a rampage on Halloween earlier. If you don't have kids, and you're like, if you're dressing up with your kids, that's fine. But like these grown adults who put these costumes on and go to these goofy fucking parties, who are these people? I've never done this in my life. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
You should see the wildest, dude. You want to know the wildest thing? It's in Chicago. Anything that
happens over there, I don't know.
Okay, listen. They turned the water into green. And the Irish thing that they do there, it is wild. I've been there on like St. Patty's Day. Holy shit. What's that thing? Is it North Street? What is that down there where all the pizza places are? Where you go down there, man. And I've been down there, and I was down there with Mongo years ago. Face down, ass up. How you doing?
Look, everyone's calling me Xander McMullen. I'm a curmudgeon now. Fuck Halloween. It's goofy. I've always thought that. As a kid, I got the pillowcase, loaded it up with candy, and went home. All right, so good show, brother. I will catch you later.
I will catch you again, Big Z. Thank you, brother. Great stuff as always.
Later, dude.
You got it. Xander Krauss. Make sure you guys check him out on Birds 365. By the way, I can't wait. But first, I got to get his thoughts on the Eagles and what they've done in the first half of the season. Before we do that, put game plan B. Don't get your hopes up. I got it, Twiz. Hang in there. All right. So I want to get Mike North's thoughts on the Eagles' first half, sitting at 6-2. Who's the biggest threat to Philadelphia to win the NFC? Without further ado, I saw him in a green shirt today, too. I did. And believe me, on St. Patty's Day, Mike North, I wonder how many times he's been. What's the name of that place? We're going to get to him here in a second. But, man, all the restaurants are down there. All the pizza places are down there. Is it like, it's not High Street. I forget what it is. So let's bring my friend in to educate me from my University of Miami days, the legendary Chicago man himself. He is Mike North.
What's going on? I got a little Jack Nicholson in me today. How's everything going, my friend? Here's Johnny. What's going on, Phil? I was watching The Shining yesterday. I hate that movie.
I don't know about it. It looks more like Batman.
They got pizza places all over, Lincoln Park, Roscoe Village, all sorts of great places. But we dyed the River Green on St. Patrick's Day. I used to work at a bar called Shenanigans. It's still down there on Division. Used to work the door. And I was like the talker. I tried to talk these drunkards into not getting themselves in serious trouble in the bar. I always had some bigger boys behind me. But, yeah, we had some wild St. Patrick's Days there. I mean, when the flag outside your place is a shamrock, St. Patrick's Day is going to be rocking.
All right, Mike, what do you make of the Eagles sitting at 6-2? Who's the biggest threat in the NFC versus them?
Well, I want to say probably, I would have to say Detroit. I know that everybody's got the fever for, other teams in that conference, but I think Detroit. I really believe Ben Johnson, who coached the Lions and now with the Bears, the only thing he's missing is a veteran quarterback, and he'll have success here. And Jared Goff is that veteran quarterback. I mean, when you stop and think that Ben Johnson, had a lot of guts, but with the Super Bowl quarterback that they acquired. And in turn, the Rams acquired their quarterback who became a Super Bowl quarterback. So they're two good organizations. Philadelphia has been a favorite of mine all year. I'm not going to get off it. Jalen Hurts is a really good quarterback, a field general, if you will. That used to be the term. He's more of a general. If you're looking for the spicy passing games, I mean, I can introduce you to plenty of guys who threw for 4,000 yards, 5,000 yards. Dan Marino, Danny Fouts. I can name them all night long like Lionel Richie. And a lot of those guys never sniffed. John Brody. A lot of these guys never sniffed the Super Bowl or a championship game. So I'll keep the stats to other people as long as I win. Now, when you criticize a quarterback, for me, if I criticize Caleb Williams, it's only going to be during a loss. And that's when Hurts is going to get criticized the most, which during a loss. When you're winning, it's harder to criticize. The guy's got 2 Super Bowl appearances, got a Super Bowl victory. They're nobody to trifle with. And I don't think people are anxious to play the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs. If I were people, I'd try to avoid them. So, but you're going to play them anyway, and they're going to be the measuring stick still to me in the NFC.
How about this? There's a rumor going around that potentially the Eagles have offered up 3 ones for Miles Garrett. Now, we got to remember something, too, about ones. I've always said this, Mike. There's probably 15 guys in the first round that are bona fide first-round talents. The rest of them are high second-round guys. You rarely find a draft where there's 32 dudes that are first-round guys.
Right. Get you.
So, to me, I mean, here's the Browns. It makes sense. The Browns would have 7 first-round picks over the next 3 years to get their team better. I mean, it's like Joe Thomas, man. You're going nowhere with Miles Garrett.
It doesn't matter where Philadelphia finishes. It's the Browns' pick once they make the trade. So if they're going to finish first, second, or third in the draft, they're going to get healthy quick. It makes sense to get rid of him. He's becoming disgruntled over there. He knew what he was getting into. He took their money. For that, shame on him. But, Cleveland, shame on you for investing all that money into a very great defensive player put on the show last week. But I think if they could make that trade, Cleveland would be in the driver's seat. I mean, Philadelphia is going to go for it now. Why you got DeJean, why you got Hurts, all these guys are in their primes. You're not acquiring guys for 5 years from now. Okay? So it's all about now for Philly, and it's all about when for Cleveland, and that's why they should make the move.
Okay.
If that rumor's true. I don't know if that's true or not.
How about this? I'm going to read this to you, folks. Here was Mike North today, and I completely 1,000%, and I want to get his take on why he went here. So here's Mike North, if you don't mind me reading, Mike. This guy from racial hoaxes, which is true, to China, load management, and faking injuries, promising 7 titles, Miami, and a major talent worth $581 million in NBA salaries and $1.2 billion personally, but not like Abel, the other superstars, to decline the NBA ratings since 2012. The ratings have absolutely plummeted. They've absolutely lost the audience since Jordan has left. Remember something, half of NBA audiences have been down since MJ retired. Like MJ said, what are you doing the other 21 hours of the day? Jordan was appointment-setting television. LeBron isn't. There's no question. The guy who wore the ratings title is LeBron, is Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan was appointment-setting television, like Tiger is, like Mike Tyson was appointment-setting. You think LeBron has been the most? I don't want to use this line here, but let me go here with it then. You think he is hurt or helped the NBA?
I think he's more hurt it because he's bought into the load management, which Jordan would have never bought into, or Bird or Magic or any of those guys. See, the thing that makes me mad about load management, Dan, is that I grew up with the Van Leer Bulls. I grew up with the first Bulls team. Now, the Chicago Zephyrs and the Chicago Packers, who then became the Washington Bullets, there were 2 failed franchises in Chicago in the NBA. So this was the last chance for the Bulls. And Jerry Sloan and those guys there, Guy Rogers, Dick Motta, Johnny Redditor, Bob Love, those guys kept basketball in Chicago. That's why they're They're not up there in the rafters like Sloan and Love are because of what they did on the court, even though Sloan was a multi-time All-Star, all-defensive team like 8, 9 times. These guys won their first year as an expansion team. And I talked to Norm Van Leer and a lot of the old Bulls many times, and Michael. Oh, they used to have to travel commercial, and nobody took the night off, and everybody busted. So last night, I'm watching the Washington Wizards versus Oklahoma. I had the under in which was 231, and I'm noticing every play's a 3. There's no passing. There's no hard playing. I noticed nobody's sweating. I got money on this game. 93s in one basketball game, and that might be low. I don't keep track. I was so bored, and the strategies out of the game. The fact that Popovich and Kerr, Popovich, a military man, wants to save their legs and felt bad for multimillionaires because they have to put in an honest day's work. Nobody plays hard D. The games are like 238 combined. When I was growing up, they were 180 because you played defense. So it's just gotten to the point where it's nauseating. I just couldn't believe what I was watching. I think 3, 4 guys actually busted. I mean, Shaq used to sweat. Kobe, Ewing. I mean, you name them. All those guys. Dominique Wilkins was a dripping mess. All these guys. And now I don't see it. I don't see the effort. I don't see plays. They used to draw plays up at the huddle. These guys, they don't even know how to run a play. They just wait by the 3-point line, wait for that guy in the middle to get the ball. He kicks it out. And so it's just gotten to the point where gambling to me is the least of their worries. Because the fabric of the game, the different areas where you got to go, you don't even know where the games are anymore for a lot of them. You got to go to apps. They have a weak commissioner. He bought into the gambling. LeBron is not liked. Look, my mother-in-law didn't know a thing about basketball, little Italian woman. She goes, I want to go see Michael Jordan. She just says that to me one night. Well, she's watching the news. She's seeing this guy, Jordan. She sees how he plays. I took her. The station I worked at had a skybox. Went to the United Center. She watched him she watched just what he did. And he could have taken that night off. Like so many of them do. And screw the customer. And when you hear Jordan talk about, he played exhibition games in Jackson, Wyoming, in Las Vegas before. He played Lincoln, Nebraska.
So, Mike, you buy this.
Played them all.
Mike, wait. So I watched something with Tirico and him the other night. Yeah. And he said that when, they do this now special with Jordan.
Right.
So, like, they asked him, he goes, I was staying at a house for the Ryder Cup. And they asked me to take a shot, and there was a little kid there.
I saw the video, yeah.
And then there was a follow-up video. They asked him about load management. He goes, it's unnecessary.
It's ridiculous. You saw Bill Gates just talk about that global warming was a hoax. Thank you. I knew that 30 years ago. Okay. I didn't think anybody was going to die, you morons. And for people to believe it, which I know a lot of people did, shame on you, you idiots. So now load management, 21. Jordan says it the other night. What do you do the other 21 hours a day? These guys don't want to even work hard for a living. I used to love to play sports. It's a dream. And half of them act like they're being inconvenienced. I mean, it's just sickening to me, man. The work ethic in the NBA is nil for everybody but 10% of the players, and most of those guys are great. Most of those 10% are like Jokic, like the Joker, like SGA. These guys, they come to play. SGA was a dripping mess last night. The Wizards, they didn't even have to shower. They could have just gone in and put their suits on and suits. They probably wear, like jumpers and everything else. It's just unbelievable. So it's really slipped a lot. And I hear about the Barkley, Shaq, Ernie, Kenny. Good show, but it's reached its course. I don't care if miss it. I used to love to watch it. I don't care if I miss it now.
You think it being on ESPN has hurt them?
I don't think it's hurt them, but here's what I'm going to tell you.
Or do you think it just ran its, like you just said, ran its course?
Well, it's run its course. It ran its course 5 years ago. Why are the ratings down? If you got a dynamite NFL show before the games, then why don't you have a lead in audience? If that's a lead in audience, why are the ratings dropping since 2012? When I was a kid, they had the NFL Today with Brent Musburger, Irv Cross, Jimmy the Greek Snyder, and Phyllis George. You watched that, and then you watched the games. You didn't just watch the pregame show. So why are if Barkley and these guys, I mean, Barkley says what a lot of us talk show hosts say, but don't have his platform. So, oh my God, did you hear what Barkley said? Some of the stuff he says, if I said it, I'd get fired.
That's for damn sure.
I mean, there's certain, you can't have different rules, but there's different rules.
Oh, of course there's different rules, Mike. So everybody in Philly now, with Maxey and all this, they're buying the Sixers. Are you buying the Sixers?
No, but that's beside the point. I mean, I love the guards, but I mean, you got Embiid, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He should have never won MVP. They campaigned for him. I'm not a fan of his. Never have been. I like his game, but he just can't be depended on for the most part. And I just think that
I think he's the Kawhi Leonard of the big men.
Oh, there's no question. Kawhi Leonard won some titles, cashed in, though. You know, when I see low management,
I'm talking about low management. Those are the guys that are the post.
Oh, they're the guys that have ruined it, that have hurt the game, period.
Yeah. What do you make of the World Series? Do the Toronto Blue Jays close it up tonight?
Well, I just find it amusing that people tell me, hope the Dodgers win. We don't want them foreigners to win. I go, most of the guys on the Blue Jays most of the guys on the Blue Jays are American. Ohtani's the foreigner, and Yakamoto and those guys.
Foreigner.
And they got Spanish, Latino players. But all kidding aside, I want Toronto to win so bad because look, what that kid did the other night, Ohtani, was a beautiful thing. Yeah. He put that big game together. But you want to know something? Okay, that was a freak game. He's the greatest who ever lived. No, he's not. Okay, because he can do two things that makes him special. And he is a very good player. But Aaron Judge is as good. This Guerrero guy is outplaying him.
Oh, God.
And I saw Stan Musial play. So don't go telling me about Ohtani. He had 1,860 hits at home, 1,860 hits on the road. The guy had the same amount of hits. The guy hit 475 homers. The guy played right field for 24 years. There was no DH where you could sit on your ass. Yeah. I saw Ted Williams. I didn't see Ted Williams play, but I seen tapes of Ted Williams. There's a lot of guys that were great players.
Mays.
Babe Ruth's the greatest. He didn't pitch one inning. He pitched that 9 innings, and then he'd hit you 3 homers.
Willie Mays.
Oh, Ohtani's great, but you know what? You got to play the field in my world. And I think if the Yankees offered Aaron Judge to the Dodgers would think about it for Ohtani.
Absolutely. I got to tell you, let me tell you a Willie Mays story. So
I love Willie Mays stories. Go ahead, Phil.
I did a San Francisco Giants.
Let me put a log on the fire.
I did the post-game show for the San Francisco Giants KNBR. Oh. And so I would get Willie Mays on with me, and I asked Willie Mays, I go, you know this new 30 for 30 club that they have? He goes, Dan, if I knew that was a thing, I'd have did it every year.
Every year. Every year. And he played center field. By the way, hit 600 home runs. People don't know. I've been watching baseball since
660.
I'm telling you, Willie Mays played at Candlestick Park, one of the most notoriously hard ballparks they had.
Incredible.
And the Polo Grounds, where it was like 457 to straightaway center.
That's correct.
If you watch him, he makes the basket catch at the Polo Grounds.
Yeah,
He had another 40 yards to go before the ball went out of the park. I mean, it would have been a home run in any ballpark. So when I hear it, oh, he's the great. Do your homework before 2000. Do your homework before steroids. Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Stan Musial. Hey, Ohtani's great, but you better keep playing. You got it, and you better hit better than 250, which he's hitting in the postseason.
Hey, Mike, if you took away 755 home runs of Henry Aaron, do you know he'd still have 3,000 hits?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I saw these guys. They were 185 pounds. Ernie Banks was a friend of mine, but they were all my idols. I love these guys. Nellie Fox was 5'9". The guy was an MVP for the White Sox. 5'9", 160 pounds soaking wet. Hank Aaron, 185 pounds. Frank Robinson, 185 pounds. Ernie Banks, 180 pounds. And they're hitting home runs. It's not about being a Hulk and cheating and steroids and being big. These guys were hitting those kind of home runs against great pitchers, but they don't. It's all about the hands, and it's about leverage, and it's about the base, because they were little guys.
Yeah, Harry Aaron wasn't. It was
they were not big.
It was mostly in his wrist. He said.
Banks would go like this, and he'd hit the ball with his wrist, and the ball would fly out.
Mike, are you buying your Chicago Bulls this year?
Absolutely. Because they got rid the other night they played Sacramento. It was great. Levine and DeRozan were back, and the Bulls dissected them because they passed the ball. 8-9 guys are scoring in double figures a game. That never happened. It was the ball stoppers like Levine who'd get the ball and he'd do this and he'd wait to make a move, and then there'd be DeRozan and Billy Donovan can coach, so he's finally got a team of guys 8, 9, 10 strong that are seeing results by passing the ball and hitting the open man, and they're playing good D. And they got guys like, Vukovic, poor Vukovic. He takes abuse in Chicago. He's an 18-11 guy.
Yeah.
He's not going to be some of these other guys like Shaq was. But if you can get 18-11 out of your center, and you got other players to surround him, they got some sharpshooters like Herter. They got just some solid Bucelis, a hell of a player. They got just some solid. There's no superstars.
You like Billy Donovan? I knew him when he was at Florida and he was coaching the Gators, and he was always so accessible, and it was always about ball movement with him. He's a really great fundamental type coach. Do you like him?
I knew Billy. I talked to Billy a couple times, and we both got in the Chicagoland Sports Hall of Fame together.
Okay.
And Billy, they're also focused. It's like they're focused when they're not even coaching. We're sitting at a dinner, and I'm, looking at him, and his eyes are in a far long distance. Like, I got a game tomorrow night against Toronto. I can't enjoy my steak. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, I knew Ray Meyer, and who how you doing, was more gregarious, but Billy's been successful. He's got an above 500 record with this team. They got rid of the two big money guys, and now there's no superior being, because Levine played for years. I love these teams. They trade these guys, and when they come back, they show the video. If they were so wonderful, why did you get rid of them? Because he made one playoff round. He made it once into the playoffs in 6-7 years. Zach LaVine, just like he played with Garnett, couldn't get it done. He's what I call a stat stuffer. He'll have 30, 8 and 8, and they lose. Period.
Do you like? Let me go here with the NFL. Here.
Yeah, I love when you go to the NFL. Not for long if you keep playing like some of these teams.
Kansas City, Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Allen versus Mahomes is the marquee game. What do you like in this bad puppy?
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going with I'm 2-0 this year picking with Mahomes. I think that the fact that Buffalo's getting points at home is telling, especially because it's not really a playoff game. And Mahomes, they're 0-4 against Mahomes in the playoffs. But I just think that they've been more successful in the regular season. But this Mahomes this year got some better receivers. Their line, we took one of their good players, Tooney, and they've replaced them. Some of these organizations, like even Philly, with you got rid of Kelsey and you just replaced them. So they got a good offensive line. I'm just going to stick with Mahomes on this one.
Chicago, you buying them now? 4-3. They're gonna win this week against Cincinnati. They're gonna go 5-3 now.
You got that guaranteed?
No. No, I know I don't. Are you
Well,
buying
they should look. The pressure's on Caleb Williams because we're waiting for him to have a breakout game. He had one against the Dallas Cowboys about 3-4 weeks ago. He's not played well. They outgained last week the opposing team 110 to 108 in the first quarter and only led 6-0. They didn't cash in the red zone. Justin Fields, former Bear, threw for 245 yards against the Bengals. So what? Williams better throw more than that, and he better put up a couple touchdowns. Otherwise, people are going to say, why the hell did we get rid of Justin Fields? And it's really Cincinnati's bad. But I don't know. Our secondary's banged up, and they still got those great receivers. But we should win this football game, like you said, Dan. I give it on a 1 to 10. Adam Rank asked about confidence levels 1 to 10. I give it a 6, which would mean I think they're going to win, but it's going to be close.
Is this the last year you're giving Caleb Williams before you make an assessment, or have you?
I never wanted him. I'll tell you exactly what I wanted to do, and maybe I was wrong about this too. I didn't think Caleb Williams was any better than the other 5 guys, but Poles thought that. Okay, so he didn't do his due diligence. He didn't even talk to Drake May. He didn't talk to Jaden Daniels. He didn't talk to none of those guys. That's just malpractice if you're a general manager. That's being lazy and not doing your due diligence. But I will tell you this. I didn't want Caleb Williams. I wanted to draft Marvin Harrison 1. Okay. And they got to do and say. So I'll give Poles credit for that one. That's a good pick. He's as good as Harrison.
It is.
Okay. But whoever was available at the quarterback spot. And at the time it was May. But I don't know if May would be good with this team. He would be with Ben Johnson, though. See, if you can't throw accurately, there's nothing that Ben Johnson can do to help you with that. You can be taught to get rid of the ball quickly. You can be taught to look at all 3 options. You can be taught maybe eventually to hit the check down, but you cannot be taught to throw an accurate pass. That is up to you and you only, and that's what he's having the issues with right now.
So finally, Halloween.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Halloween?
My wife loves Halloween. We have our house decorated. We got pumpkins all over the place, lights and everything else. But the last time
we're getting candy too. We're getting candy too. We're giving it to the kids too.
Yeah. I know we used to get a lot more kids where we used to live than we do now. But, seriously, I stopped dressing up when I was 10. Okay. So, and appropriately, my mom made me the devil. But I didn't have any insecurities after that. You go, you make a nice devil. I go, thanks, Bob. You know what I mean? So yeah, and I remember all the good times going around.
No, see, I have a problem though, Mike. Here's my problem.
Yeah.
So if I put a bowl out, okay.
You don't pull it out though. You don't. Oh, you mean out in the vestibule?
Yeah, not to pull anything out. Yeah. I'm too old now. It's done. It's over with.
It's over with. So finished.
I put a bowl out. Put the candy in there, and so I'm looking down there. And the kid takes more than 2. I'm gonna have to run them down. I mean,
they're packaging them now. They got like 10 different bars in one package. The fun was just getting one.
You'd go, Joe, my friend Joe Rose, who was the tight end for Dan Marino down.
I remember Joe Rosen well, great ball player.
Hey, by the way, he does a morning show in Miami, right?
Wow. So
get this. He told me that he used to go tackling guys if they would take the bowl and dump it in their thing. He'd go around, and I'm going, wait a minute, you're tackling 10-year-old kids at 12? He goes, yeah. Take one, and then I'm like, dude, it's Halloween.
You know what I used to hate? Did you ever have people just throw change, like money, into the bag?
Yeah, you know what?
What are you doing, man? Don't do that to us.
Yeah, but the change in the apple, you might get TP'd on that later on that night.
Yeah, Halloween's big now. But when we were younger in the 60s, my dad would carve a pumpkin, put a candle in, put it. That was it. There was no pumpkins in every room, and people.
So is that a big deal in Chicago? Is Halloween big in Chicago?
Oh, big deal. Yeah, big deal. Yeah, it is. Yeah. The girls get to wear what's in their closet legitimately. You know what I mean?
And so do the guys, I guess.
Yeah, that's how you know what I'm saying.
Hey, yeah. Mike, the toupee look good today? You were.
Let me tell you something.
Oh no, look good.
Yeah, you know what? I'm having a good hair day.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
I'll tell your wife she did a nice job on you there.
Oh no, I comb my own hair now, but she makes a mean wedge salad. Chop it up, baby. Chop it up.
My God.
Chop it up. Hey, I love this. You know, I love the show. And I know it's a tradition. You're going to be on for every Friday.
Yes. Yes.
I like doing it. It's like being on the street corner again. Robustelli. Oh.
Robustelli. Hey.
No. Hey,
Mike.
The Pope said the Pope was riding the Pope mobile, and some fan just yelled, it's a beautiful video. Hey, who's your favorite basketball team? And he goes, who's, and he's in the Pope mobile. He goes, the Chicago Bulls. If you would have told me we would have a Pope from Chicago at any time in my life, I would have said, you're out of your mind, you're high, you're crazy, whatever, you're all things considered.
Well, seriously, Mike, the only popes you ever had from like Chicago were the guys that had funny noses and wore funny hats.
Hey, there's a good movie, Alto Nights. If you haven't seen it, it's about Frank Costello and Gambino. De Niro plays two roles. He's outstanding in the roles. If you like mob stuff, it's on HBO now. It's called Alto Nights, ALTO KNIGHTS.
Got you, man. Mike, next week we'll catch you, bro.
Got you, brother.
Thank you.
Take care,
Mike,
guys.
The legendary Mike North. Absolutely great, man. As always. And as advertised. Absolutely great stuff. All right. We will have the legend. Another legend. What a week. What a week this week has been. Legendary this week. Kurt Warner with us. Ray Didinger. Brian Baldinger. And then Philly Godfather. Yeah. I got his book right here too. Look at this. This is the movie I'm going to be in. Look at the books I get sent. Look at this. Look at these books I get sent. Ray Didinger, right down there. Look at that. Philly Godfather. I mean, what I'm talking about. Hey, Twiz. Fraud? Your passing game. That's a fraud. Your passing game is a fraud. Let me pay some bills here. Big Sills. National Football Show is so proud to have Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America. And why? Because they win. Defending families like yours. Folks, #1 injury law firm in America is here on this program. And they defend families like yours each and every single day. They don't get paid unless you win. Whether you've been hurt at work, anywhere. Make sure you contact my friends at Morgan & Morgan. Ultima and John Morgan started this company 25 years ago to make sure that they would defend families like yours. Go to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor. Tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
The easiest sell I can make to you. The easiest sell. Okay? Let's see here. What's this guy saying? I used to like your show, but it's very stale quick. Bro, see you later. Goodbye. Goodbye. Brother. Okay, by the way, like Seth Joyner or other people of this caliber, or give up the show. Hey, Andre, I have a better show than that guy, and I get better numbers than that guy. What are you fucking talking about? Get with the program. Have some good guests. Hey, guy, how about this? Eat a dick. How's that for you? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for posting. Thank you. How you doing? Look at Andre sitting in here. Brother, that guy's nowhere in our league. Nowhere in our league. Trick or treat. How you doing? Yes, sir. Ooh-wee. Even Andre comes in here pretending to be somebody that we kind of care about, which we don't. But get this, Andre, I'll take that back. I do care. Thank you for being in here and posting your opinions on the show. I'll see you in the next couple days here. I'm sure of it. Fuck the haters, Sil. Keep what you're doing, big dog. No. No, I'm having fun with him because it's Halloween. Okay? Bro, me too, man. It's all good. Bro, good. Thank you for being here. I mean that. I really do. I'm not kidding. I appreciate you for being here, man. And we appreciate everybody. By the way, everybody can have an opinion, okay? And remember something too, Andre. Monday through Friday, 4 days a week. Here's one thing for sure, too. How about this, Andre? Big Sills don't take days off. We're here every day. Ain't no load management when it comes to the Big Sill Show. Thank you, guys. Absolutely. Hey, Andre, how about this, man? I'm going to do my best to make you the #1 sports fan of this show. You tell me, what do I have to do to get with the program? Because you know why? I want to make you. I'm not kidding. Okay, I'm not kidding. Maybe that's why I never take days off. Because I never leave the Dan cave. Take the mask off? Why? I'm handsome now, bro. And really, let's see here. Talk about MVP Hurts. Let's see here. Not MVP candidate yet. You got to play more than good 2 weeks. Don't change for anyone. No way. That's what my wife says. Get a whiteboard. Wait a minute. Get a whiteboard. This ain't good enough. Let me show you something here with my way of doing it. Ready? Miles Garrett. Okay? Jalen Carter. Jordan Davis. And Alex Hunt. Bond and Campbell. How's that look? Miles Garrett, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Alex Hunt, Campbell, Bond. Hey, if you did that, I might actually have to move to Philly. Yeah, because the parade would, you know what? There'd be a yearly parade every February. It'd be national, world championship week. If you put that on there and you got him in the room, okay? You're pulling for me? Thank you, bro. No, I'm not offended. I was only kidding, actually. We get a little sharp sometimes because we're big sales. You're pulling for me? I know people have been pulling for me for 35 years. I got it. You know what? Don't worry, Andre. People have been saying that for 35, almost 40 years in broadcasting. I know. People have been pulling for me a long time. Seals, you ever do film breakdown of schemes of players and performance? Would be cool, especially by draft time. I do a lot of that on the draft. Here, let me give you a breakdown here. I'll tell you my assessment of Jalen Carter. Do you want to hear it? Here. I think Jalen Carter has been lazy this year. I think he's been spectacular in moments. I think he's taken some plays off. I think he's immature. I think that technique-wise, he's gotten a tad better. He's too spotty right now. I think he's all over the board. In my opinion, it has been a very shoddy year for him. Do you see spectacular talent? Yes. He's getting away with his mistakes on the field that other players couldn't get away with. Okay? They couldn't get away with. But he's so talented that he gets away with it. If he starts focusing, gets into better shape, plays the technique better, he'll be a sensational ball player. Jordan Davis. I think Davis has been solid. Not great. Solid. Numbers dictate that too when it comes to the defensive scheme. I'm pretty happy where your defense is. I thought you'd be between 15 and 20 heading into week 8. I didn't think you'd be anywhere above that. Some people thought you'd be a top 5 or top 10 defense. No chance on the planet when you've had that kind of turnover that you were going to be in the top 10. However, I'm not disappointed. I'm really not disappointed where you are right now. So, I mean, I'm not. I would say this. He's been better in his effort. He's been in really good shape. He's played better than Carter for the 8 games, I would say. He has. He's played better. if I would give him a grade, I mean, listen, I'm not paying that guy $20 million. I don't see that. He's not a $25 million a year guy. Against next to Carter, they make a great duo. Jalen Carter has been a disappointment, not Jordan Davis. Jalen Carter has been disappointing because he hasn't elevated his game. He actually is a step back from what he did a year ago. Jordan Davis, you could make the argument that he's kind of parlayed what he did a year ago at the end of 2024, and he's actually been pretty good. Not sensational, but he's been good. Teams can run the ball on you. I mean, your defensive numbers are not great. I mean, as a unit, take a look at your numbers. When you guys are trying to tell me how good you guys are, you're not that hot. Here's your defense. I mean, Carter's been good, but here's your defense of who you've been this year so far. Now, again, against great opponents. Total defense, Eagles are 20th. That's right where I thought you'd be. We said that. Remember when Xander asked me, I said between 15 and 20. That he'd be there between 15 and 20. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Pass defense, it's gotten better. The numbers are picking up, though. You're 18th. Now, the numbers are going to pick up because you've played two shitty teams that can't throw the ball. But hey, listen, you play who's in front of you. Here's the one that's been the shocker. Now, you want to ask me about how good you have been with Carter and Davis. Well, you're 19th against the run. You're giving up 121 yards a game rushing. And in the last 2 weeks, Minnesota didn't even run the ball. So how good are you against the run? I think you're that's below average. You know, if you're 15, you're in the middle of the league. That's okay. You can live with that. You're down in the 20s. I mean, your defensive tackles have been okay. And that's because Carter's been out of shape. So you can take whatever you want from it. Scoring defense. You're giving up 23 points a game. Last year, you gave up 17-8, I think it was. So think about it. You've given up almost 7 full more points this year. Now, you're playing better teams. There's got to be some context to that as well. Okay? You're playing some good teams. Look, schedule matters to me. Red zone, you're phenomenal. This is where Vic earns his cash. You're holding teams of 46% on red zone scoring opportunities. That's less than 50%. That's phenomenal. Third down. This is where there's a problem. You're 28th. What does that mean? Your offense is one of the worst third down offenses in pro football, which means too many 3-and-outs. You know why here? If you look at your front seven right now, you guys should be probably ranked total defense. You should be ranked 12th. But because your offense has been so inadequate this year, with all those 3-and-outs, your offense is terrible in 3-and-outs. They lead the league. Your defense is awful in getting off the field because they're young and they got new players. If the offense at all was better at 3-and-out, your defense would be a top 12 to 15, maybe closer to top 10, if that number was better. Your offense is killing your defense. Okay? Get this. Seals, you throwing out these numbers to try and make your point, but you know the numbers don't tell how good a bend but don't break defense is. Bro, these aren't numbers. These are analytics. You're missing the point again. This is how the Eagles look at this. They got an entire floor at NovaCare when it comes to analytics and what I just told you. You think I'm throwing shit at you? Your organization values analytics in who they are, how they build game plans, how they go forward, and how they look at player evaluations. How else do you make a game plan? Based off what? What you think will work or what you know has been working for a particular team? If a guy drives to a grocery store with one route, here's what analytics are. Michael, if your grandmother drives to a grocery store every single day for the last 20 years, the same route, that's analytics that 100% of the time, that's the route she takes to go to the grocery store. Well, apply that to the NFL. On first down, a team does this 28% of the time on first down. That's their tendency on what they do. You build your defensive approach on what you're going to do with two high, what you're going to do with nickel and dime. You build it off of what teams' tendencies are. This team does this 28% of the time. This team does this 25% of the time on this particular situation. That's how you build a fucking game plan. So the reason I wouldn't mind trading for someone like Garrett, Chubb, or Phillips, we got a lot of undersized guys and no big dudes to set the edge. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. That's correct. Yes. No question about it. Absolutely true. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit that like button. Appreciate you guys. Yeah. So, Nolan Smith this year, in my opinion, I think Nolan Smith, again, I never said he was a 17-game player. I think he plays with a great energy. I think he is a pretty good talent, but I'm not building my football team around that guy. That ain't happening. All right? It's just not. All right, so A.J. Brown. I can't wait to talk to my friend. So I want to show you something here. So as you guys know, Ray Didinger sent this to me. Encyclopedia. He was on this week. But I love this book. Right here. Gonna be in the movies. Right here with the legendary Philly Godfather. Right here. By the way, he is kicking ass this year with his bets and with his picks. He's doing a great job, folks. You can check him out on all the social media platforms. One of my favorite segments of the week. I love catching up with my friend. He's like Truman Capote now. He goes around and he does all these speaking engagements. Now, you see him with his mic in his hand. He's like, I don't know, he's like Frank Sinatra or like Tony Bennett. He's just going around and like he's hanging out. He's talking to people. It's really cool, by the way. So happy for his success with the book, without a doubt. My friend, the legendary Philly Godfather, joins us right now here on the program. How you doing, bro?
Doing great, Dan. Dropped about 35 pounds in about almost 2 months. Got to look good for the red carpet coming up.
How's everything coming with the book, bro?
Doing great, man. We had another public speaking engagement at Rowan University this past Monday. A bunch of kids showed up, a bunch of family, friends. It was a good time. A lot of inspirational talk, trying to educate these kids to have some clarity, not just in life, but in sports betting, because a lot of these kids, they get in trouble if they don't know, the odds and the reality of sports betting. You got to be real careful. And I basically explained to them, it's kind of like a fruity cocktail drink, but it's disguised. It could be a Molotov cocktail if you don't, watch yourself. It could explode in your face if you get addicted to it. So you got to really be careful when it comes to sports betting.
They've pumped the brakes on letting the college kids start gambling on November 1st. they were going to let them gamble, but because of what's happened with the NBA, I mean, what do you make of that? Where, college kids and college athletes are going to get a chance to gamble on professional sports. And now that what we're seeing here with all the money that's being thrown around in college sports, you think that's a dangerous slope to go down here, allowing those kids to gamble?
I mean, can you really stop them if they really want to gamble? But again, you got to be careful, man, because these college kids, I invest in the sports betting market. I make money. I make a good living. But most people, they don't spend the time. They don't do the research, and they don't do what it takes to actually beat the VIG, the minus 110 juice when you're laying 110 to win 100. It takes a lot of preparation, a lot of research. And if you're going to treat it like entertainment, you might, if you go to a concert, you spend $200, you're entertained for 3 hours, and you lost your $200, but you had a good time. So if you want to bet $20 here and there on a football game or a basketball game, that's cool. As long as you know what you're getting into. The problem is these sportsbook have become very predative, and it's in your hand. Like, how many concerts can you go to a month? 1, 2, 3. You can bet every 2 seconds. The next thing you know, you're addicted to it, and you're in some serious trouble. Could blow up in your face. So it's like the Wild Wild West. A lot of precautionary measures are going to have to be taken in place. A lot of parameters to really monitor what's going on in the market, and with these young kids that don't have the willpower, don't have the the ability to win betting on sports.
Who's the betting favorite right now in the NFL to win the Super Bowl? Because Ray Didinger was on, and he asked me. He goes, don't you think this is one of the most wide open years in the NFL that you've seen in a while? And I happen to agree with him. I mean, it's pretty wide open. I mean, you'll start to see some teams start to pare it down. You'll start seeing 5 or 6 teams in each conference that you feel comfortable with. But who's the betting favorites right now? At least the top 3.
I mean, after starting off 0-2, the Chiefs are the favorite to win the Super Bowl again at plus 450. It's the usual suspects: the Chiefs, the Lions, the Packers, the Bills. The Eagles are 11-1. The Rams are at like 10-1. But the Colts
has that gone down? Has that gone down? The Eagles 11-1.
Not really. It's been bouncing around a little higher, a little lower throughout the year. It's right where it's supposed to be. The only surprise has been the Colts at 9-1. They've started off red hot, so the odds makers are starting to respect that team, which is evident by them being a 3-point favorite in Pittsburgh this week. It's hard to win in Pittsburgh, and yet they're still a 3-point favorite. So it's the usual suspects. And then you'll have like the Buccaneers and the Broncos, and even the Ravens are at I think like 18-1 right after the Eagles. But they got a long road ahead of them, and they got to get healthy fast. And Lamar's got to start playing better, even though he played good the other night. But even in that game, I mean, Miami kind of gave it to them. If you look at the first half of that game against Miami, Miami had more total yards, more first downs, and yet they were down by over a touchdown. So Miami kind of lost that game. And then the second half, obviously, the Ravens took over a little bit. But that Ravens team they're not that good this year. You
think they're going to win the North, though?
I don't know. I kind of like Pittsburgh a little bit, man. They're coming on strong. Their defense is strong. You got a Hall of Fame quarterback. You got a lot of weapons on that team. If Joe Burrow ever came back, that Bengals team with that offense is dangerous, but their defense is so bad. There's a slim chance that the Ravens could come back and win that division, but as of right now, I think it's the Steelers.
What do you like in this Chiefs and the Bills game? You got Josh Allen and you got Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you got 2 of the best guys on the planet. I'm starting to do this with the Bills. I don't know, man, but I'm starting to look at it and go like this with the Bills. Am I really buying them? Why are they seemingly coming the other way? Or maybe I'm wrong here. You tell me.
I mean, the Chiefs are actually favored in Buffalo, which surprised me a little bit.
Wow.
From a market perspective, they're anywhere from minus 1.5 to 2-point favorite. The total's kind of high too, at 52.5. But Buffalo's defense, their pass defense, has been banged up all year, and they've been playing at a mediocre level, even though their offense can score on anyone. And like I mentioned earlier, Chiefs started off 0-2. After 5 games, they were 2-3, and now they're back to being the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl, despite the fact that they're in 3rd place in the AFC West, and they just have a 5-3 record. Chiefs have been playing some pretty good football. What, they win 5 of their last 6 games, but in my honest opinion, I don't know how good this team is. I mean, to be honest, look at they won 5 of their last 6, but during that stretch, I think they beat the Giants, the Raiders. They beat the Commanders without Jaden Daniels. They beat the Ravens. Lamar got hurt in that game. Cooper Rush came in. And their only clean victory was against the Lions, but they were really banged up in that game. So they beat some really weak teams in that, the nice little run they've had. But, trying to match this game up. I mean, on offense, the Bills are much healthier than the Chiefs are. On defense, it's the polar opposite. The Chiefs' defense is much healthier than the Bills. But I really don't think the Chiefs should be favored on the road. I mean, this spot against the Bills' offense, they could score on anyone. And this feels like a game where it's kind of like the 13-second game. Whoever has the ball last is probably going to win this game. So I'm going to sit back. I'm going to be a little patient. I'm hoping this game goes to 3. And if it does, I'll be on Buffalo +3. At +2, where the current number's at, I kind of lean Buffalo. But I don't think the Chiefs should be favored here.
How about this? Do you think this game looks like last year's game? Because that thing was back and forth as well. It was pretty high scoring. I mean, something like that. It's shocking me that, Kansas City this year, especially with that slow start, they're favorite in Buffalo. Wow. I mean, I think that tells you. Does that tell you more about the Chiefs, or does that tell you more about the Bills?
I think it's all about that nice little run they've had. They've won 5 of their last 6. But like I mentioned, they've beaten some really bad teams or some teams that were banged up. So I think they're a little overvalued in the market going into Buffalo. Buffalo is always a hard place to win. I'm just looking at the first week of the season. The Ravens thought they had that game in the bag. And here comes Josh Allen. So now the Chiefs' defense is much better than Baltimore's. But like I said, the Buffalo Bills offense, they can score on anybody. They can score in bunches. They're resilient. And when you got Superman playing quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, anything's possible.
Falcons and Patriots. Boy, I'll tell you, Patriots, you told me, I mean, at the beginning of the year, you and I were talking about this team, and I said I thought they were going to win a spot in the playoffs. And boy, they look awesome. Right now, they're the number 2 team against the run in the NFL defensively. They've got some great numbers on defense. They're 6-2. By the way, after this game, the Buccaneers come off the bye, and they have to go to Foxborough to play this team. Falcons are sitting at 3-4. It's 45.5. 5.5, the Patriots are giving the Falcons right here. Home game in Gillette. Who do you like here?
Yeah, Dan, you would think that line would be a little higher, right?
I'm kind of shocked. I thought that thing would be around 7.5.
Yeah, it feels a little short to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to be careful here if you're looking to take the Patriots. I mean, New England's won 5 straight. Like you said, they own the second best record in the AFC and the entire league, I think, at 6-2.
That's right. They're sitting right now at number 2. If the playoffs were to start, they would be behind right now the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, and I think they got the second or third best point differential overall, and they're only -5.5 at home. Something just doesn't smell right. On paper, the Patriots should crush this team. Their overall team health score is like 12 points higher than Atlanta's. I mean, New England is the right side, even though the public's all over them. I think right now almost 70% of the action is on the Patriots. So now the public's jumped on that team. They've become a public favorite, which scares me a little bit. I haven't bet them yet, but I did put them in some teasers. I got them down to +2 with the Ravens from the other night. So as long as they don't win by more than 2 points, I'll probably cash my bet. But I'd be a little weary about laying 5.5. I mean, Vegas doesn't give it out. They don't give out free gifts or free money. That line just feels a little short to me. I kind of like the over, too, over 45, over 44.5 on the total. But if I bet the side, which I'm not sure I will yet, I'll give it out on Twitter for free for you guys.
This will be the Eagles' opponent on Monday night following. It's going to be Panthers and Packers. A couple months ago, I would have thought this game would have been somebody that you and I would have just passed over, but it's 44.5, which is kind of lower. I thought 13.5 the Packers are giving the Panthers right now. That Panther team's 4-4, and they're getting Bryce Young back. And here's the Green Bay. They got great numbers on both sides. They're ranked in the top 10, both offensively and defensively in total offense and total defense. Packers are 5-1-1 heading into this ball game. What do you like?
I bet the under 45 and under 44.5. Both defenses are fully healthy. Even though the Panthers are getting Bryce Young back, they're still banged up on offense a little bit. I think Carolina struggled a little bit here to put up points. They managed only 9 points against a really mediocre injury-depleted Bills defense last week. And now they're going to face a healthy Packers defense that ranks think they're number one in opponent yards per play. They're fifth in sack and pressure rate, and they're top 10 in opponent points per game. So this Packers defense is for real, and they're at home. I think the line's 12.5 or 12. Kind of lean towards the Packers here, but I like the under more. Go under 45 if you can.
So Bears and Bengals, I wouldn't bring this up to you, but boy, so they go on the road and they have to play in Cincinnati, do the Bears. They're 4-3, and Cincinnati's only getting 2.5, and it's 51 the points there. I mean, they're looking for a close football game here. That tells me a little bit more about the Bears, doesn't it, than anything? No Joe Burrow. There's a bunch of injuries. No Trey Hendrickson. And you're only 2.5-point favorites against the Bears?
Yeah, the line actually went up to as high as 3 for like a New York second, but then there was some resistance in the market, pushed it back down to 2.5 because 3 is a key number. A lot of the early action, a lot of the public money's on the Bears, right around 70% of the tickets. But yet the line went from 3 to 2.5, so that should tell you something. But honestly, the Bears are the healthier team on both sides of the football going into Sunday. Defensively, Chicago has, I think, 7 more takeaways on the season than Cincinnati. So I'm not looking to invest in a Bengals team that ranks, I think they're dead last. Their defense ranks dead last in opponent points per game. They can't stop a nosebleed, even though their offense has played pretty well this season. The other issue Cincinnati has is ball security. The rank compared to the Bears rank number 1 in turnover differential, while I think the Bengals are like 20th in the league. So they got a problem coughing up the football. And anytime you're looking to bet a game that's anywhere from a pick 'em to, minus 2.5, 3, that's huge because one turnover can really dictate who wins and covers the point spread in a game so close. Cincinnati also, their defense, they can't get to the quarterback. They struggle. I think they're ranked like almost dead last in pressure and sack rate. So if you're not going to get to, Caleb Williams, he might have a big day here. I kind of like the Bears to bounce back after getting beat up by the Ravens last week. I think the Bears are the right side. Anything under a field goal.
What did you make of that whole thing with Lamar Jackson in the injury report from the NFL? That number swayed. That number swayed. Yeah. It went back and did it have a 5-point swing?
More than
at
that.
One point because his being active and not being active. What'd you make of that?
Harbaugh's always been like that, and they always try to keep things under the wrap. But now with gambling and all the match fixing stuff in the NBA, and people, they want to jump to a conspiracy theory and why is he doing that? But at the end of the day, it didn't make a difference. The Ravens blew them out. It didn't matter if the line was where it closed at -1 or where it was at when Lamar wasn't supposed to play at -7. So it didn't really mean nothing to the market. But moving forward, the NFL might have to talk to these coaches, and they might have to become more transparent.
Let's go over here to this one. Boy, I'll tell you, Broncos sitting at 6-2. Are they one of the best teams in the AFC or not? And the Texans have rolled back, haven't they? They got the game at home. It's 1.5 the Texans are getting. They could go to 500 if they get this win against Denver. Denver's playing great on defense right now. It's 40 points. So obviously they're looking at the Texans defense, which is ranked, in the top 10 in many categories, that Texans defense. I think this is going to be a low-scoring, tough ball game here. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, the total's at 41, 40.5, depending on, which sports book you use. Like you said, the Texans are 1.5-point favorites. You got 2 really good defensive teams here. But the Broncos' pass defense is a little nicked up, while the Texans are back at home. And like you mentioned, they've been playing some solid football lately. And they kind of look like they're back on track. Denver's won 5 straight. But if you look at who they beat the Giants, the Jets. They beat the Cowboys and the Bengals. And it took a miracle to come back to beat the Eagles. So I think the market catches up with the Broncos here a little bit. I think the Broncos come back to earth this week. I haven't bet it yet, but I kind of like the Texans on the money line. And I like the under 41 more, actually.
I think there's some pretty good, intriguing ball games this week, Karen. This Colts and Steeler one in Pittsburgh here, 50.5 I've got here, and 3.5 I believe that the Steelers are getting. The Colts are 7-1, and the Steelers are 4-3 with Aaron Rodgers. Boy, the Colts are and Shane Steichen are the story of the year so far. Do you like the Steelers to win this game, or do you think the Colts go into Pittsburgh and win this?
Honestly, I like the Steelers plus 3 on the money line. I think they win the game outright. The total's at 50.5. I don't even think you're going to need the 3 points.
Wow.
I think the market's at a peak with this Colts team. They played some really efficient football this season, and they do have 2 quality wins over the Broncos and the Chargers. But they've also, they kind of feasted on some weak opponents. I mean, they beat the Dolphins, and we watched how bad they were last night. They beat the Chargers. They've also had, they beat the Titans twice. Who else they beat? They beat the Cardinals and the Raiders. If you look at some of the teams they've beaten, Dolphins, Titans, Cardinals, and Raiders, I think their combined record is like 7-23. So, and when they played the Broncos and the Chargers, those teams were a little banged up when they beat them. So, those wins look good on paper, but those teams were a little injured. I like Pittsburgh here, man. I think it's a good buy low spot for Pittsburgh. I think they win the game outright. I don't even think you need the 3 points. I think the Colts come back down to earth a little bit here.
We're going to slide by that Chargers and Titans. I'm pretty sure I think we all know where we're going with that one there. Vikings and Lions. J.J. McCarthy's back on the field for them. It's in Detroit. They're 5-2, 8.5, 48.5. So obviously a low-scoring ball game here. You taking the Vikings in a number here?
I'm not a big fan of this Vikings team this year. As you know, I released the under 9.5 wins for them before the season started. But this feels like a ton of points, doesn't it? You're getting almost
8.5.
It's up to 9.5 and some shit. It's a lot of points for a divisional dome game, especially, this Lions pass defense is, I think, the second most banged up in the league, only behind the 49ers. So you get JJ back. I mean, he's got to be better than Carson Wentz, right? I mean, he oh my God. So that's an upgrade. If you do like the Lions, play it safe. Take them in a teaser. You can tease them down to 1.5 or maybe -2. But if this game gets to 10, which it's trending that way, I'll probably take Minnesota, man. It's a division game, man. That's a lot of points, Dan. That's a lot of points.
Man, I am with you. That is a ton of points here. Now, listen, no Cam Scatterboo, but this 49er team, I got to tell you, I'm all over the place with them because, look, I get it. You got Mac Jones in there. Brock Purdy has not played pretty much the entire season, and he has been banged up, and the 49ers are banged up. The Giants, I don't know what Giant team is going to show up. I like Jackson Dart, by the way. Yeah. I think if you're talking about a guy who's going to be a future player and somebody to worry about when they get some talent around him, I think it's that. You look at the number, it's 2.5, it's 48.5. That leads me to think that people are thinking that the Giants, I'm wondering if the number's on the Giants.
I mean, bookmakers are making it kind of easy for you to bet the 49ers and get some easy cash here on Sunday. But to be honest, both teams are really banged up. But the 49ers are the most injured team in the NFL heading into Sunday. It's not even close. It's actually kind of hard to bet either side here because both teams are dealing with some big injuries. I mean, the Giants, they've been gutted on offense. They lost Neighbors, and now they lost Scatterboo, which is huge for that team. Even though, Jackson Dart, he's played well, and he's probably going to have a really good NFL career. I like that kid a lot. Before, he got drafted, the 2 quarterbacks that I talked about was Drake May and Jackson Dart. So, those guys are going to be studs moving forward. I'd like to take the Giants here +3 against the 49ers team. I mean, they're limping in. They're traveling cross country. But then again, I mean, this Giants team was projected to win 5.5 to 6 games this year. And, they're injured all over the place. Their offense is basically non-existent. They rank in the bottom of the NFL in almost every offensive category. It's just not a smart investment to bet either one of these teams. There's just too much variance here. You don't know what's going to happen in this game with all the injuries on both sides of football. 49ers probably win, but I'm not sure they cover the spread, man. But I haven't touched it yet, Dan, to tell you the truth.
Sunday night game. It's Seahawks and Commanders. I would think Jaden Daniels is back. Hearing no Terry McLaurin in the game. And the Commanders are getting 3 on that 6-2, 5-2 Seattle team. It's 48.5. I think this is do or die here for Washington. If Washington wants to still be in the contention for an opportunity to make it to the postseason, They got to have a quality win here. And Seattle's that team, or are they not the team? Or do you think Seattle's one of those sleeper teams that are in the NFC that could go a long way and maybe even get to the NFC Championship game?
I mean, they're looking pretty good. Their defense is looking good, and
They are.
Darnold's having another good year. But like you said, it's do or die. You got a Seattle team traveling cross country. But then again, I mean, the Commanders are banged up on both offense, defense. If you look at the health score differential, Seattle has a plus 12 overall health score advantage. So the Commanders are really banged up. I mean, Daniels is back, so that's huge. But McLaurin's out. I think their tackle, Tunsil, I think he's questionable as well. Is he playing, Dan? Do you know? Or not?
You know what? He was in and out of the last game. And I know that he went back in. I thought it was concussion protocol, but he came back in. So I heard he's game time decision.
Yeah, if he plays, that'll be a big bonus for the Commanders here. But the Commanders' defense, I mean, their pass defense is so bad. But like I said, Darnold's been playing lights out, man. In 7 games, I think he's got almost 1,800 yards. He's got a 12-4 touchdown to interception ratio. But again, this is do or die for the Commanders. If you grab plus 3.5, I kind of lean towards the Commanders here.
And of course, your favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys. Cardinals and Cowboys in Arlington, 53.5. The Cowboys, am I right when I say this? They're giving up 2.5 to the Cardinals here. They got to get back to 4-4-1 if they want to be a playoff team. I don't think they're a team that's going to go far into the postseason, but a chance for the Cowboys to get back to 4-4-1. Do they take care of business against a team that always plays Dallas tough, the Arizona Cardinals?
I mean, I've seen this game as high as 3.5 at a couple of different sports books. So there's some money moving the market on the Cowboys, but their defense is so bad. I think it might be worse than last year.
It is the worst. It's the worst defense in pro football.
It's horrible. And if Murray is healthy enough and he plays, and Arizona's been real competitive. I know they haven't won since week 2, but if you look at all their losses, they've been by like 4 points or less, and now you're giving me 3.5 points on an Arizona team that's better than the Cowboys, even though it's on the road. It's Monday night. Give me the Cardinals plus 3.5. Man.
Absolutely here. Let me do some college games with you here. Saturday, Vanderbilt goes to Austin, and Vandy and Arch Manning will be taking on the Texas Longhorns. So Vandy's, Diego Pavio's taking on Arch Manning and the Longhorns, who are 20th ranked, and Vanderbilt, which has been one of the surprise stories of the year here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Texas is a 3.5-point dog in this game. You think Texas takes care of business, or you think the Vandy train continues to roll?
Well, Texas is favored 2.5, 3.
Texas favorite, excuse me.
At home. I think the total is like at 47 last I checked. I mean, Texas has underperformed all year. Archie Manning isn't living up to all the hype. They've lost, 2 games on the year? So every game for them is do or die. Another loss, and they're not going to make the playoffs. So this team is kind of already in playoff type of mode, mindset. So they're living dangerously. Vanderbilt on the other side, I mean, they played lights out. And other than their loss to Alabama a few weeks back, they've looked really impressive. But if you look at their schedule, it's been growing over the last few weeks. I mean, they're about to face their 4th ranked opponent in a row. And that's not easy, man, to consistently play at an elevated level when you're playing such good teams. I like Texas here at anything under a field goal. They're the better defensive team. Vandy's QB, Diego Pavia, he's impressed me a little bit, but on the road, he really hasn't played that well so far against, a genuinely tough opponent over the last 3 weeks versus ranked teams. He's only thrown for 2 touchdowns, and he's thrown 2 picks. So nothing special against good teams. And this Texas defense is the best defense Vandy's faced all year. I kind of like Texas here at home, man.
This means a lot to me here. It's going to be in Dallas. Hurricanes take on SMU. By the way, SMU has, and if you look at their numbers, they're in the top 10, both offensively and defensively, and they've got a heck of a team here. This is almost like a playoff game, especially in the ACC. Canes, I believe, are favored by 10.5 in this ball game. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, the line originally opened up 12.5. It's down to 10.5. I see some 10s popping up. So there's some sharp money on SMU at that number. Is Miami the better team? I think so. But this feels like a lot of points to lay on the road versus a team. I think SMU's got 5 wins on the season. They got a pretty good offense. And on defense, they're not bad either. They got one of the better run defenses in college football. So it's going to be hard to establish the run for Miami. SMU can score with anybody. Kind of like SMU plus the points, even though I think Miami wins the game.
You know, what about this Notre Dame-Boston College game? You think Notre Dame takes care of business in this one here? Because here's why I ask. If they win out, they could make it into the college football playoff, I think, by the end of the year. You know, those 2 tough losses that they had at the beginning of the year, one of them to Miami and the other one to Texas A&M, both teams could potentially be playoff teams themselves. So if they make it and win out, Notre Dame could potentially sneak themselves into the college playoff. You think they win? How about this? You think they win out the rest of the way?
Yeah, I think they went out the rest of the way. And all of a sudden, that loss to Texas A&M, it's not a bad loss. I mean, it's better football than A&M. And they kind of started off almost the same way last year when they had an early loss and then they ran the table. And that team got better as the year went by. And this year, same thing's happening. They got one of the better defenses in the end in college football. But they're laying almost 30 points here against Boston College at home. I didn't bet the game. The total is 56. I think it stays under the total of 56. But Boston College, they might have to only put up 10 points to cover the spread here. So I wouldn't look to take Notre Dame minus 29 or 30. That's a lot of points.
All right. Are you buying the Sixers this year?
Buying the Sixers. Well, there's probably 10 teams ahead of them with better odds of winning the NBA championship. So, can they compete? Can they be competitive throughout the season? Yeah. It's always better off starting off, 4-0 instead of 0-4. Great guard play in the NBA is always a plus. I'm just, Embiid's a great player, but I've never been a big fan of him. He kind of plays like a lazy type of basketball to me that doesn't win in the playoffs. His numbers look great. But in the playoffs, that style of basketball just doesn't win. So, can they go deep in the playoffs? I don't think so, but they'll probably make the playoffs this season.
Who do you think is the best team in the East, in your opinion, by everything is said and done? You think it's Milwaukee still, or do you think Chicago?
I mean, Chicago's 4-0 as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Knicks are still there. Cavaliers are still pretty good. It's probably those teams. You got the Cavs, the Knicks. I guess you can slide the Bulls in there. I mean, the Sixers ain't, it's still early, but if this Sixers team keeps putting wins together, you can slide them in there as well.
Finally, Game 6 World Series. Toronto Blue Jays, 9 innings away from winning their 3rd World Series championship. The Dodgers have been pathetic at the plate. Their bullpen has been the worst I can remember. I mean, how do you have a $300 million payroll and you have a bullpen that looks like that? Well, always I don't know what Andrew Friedman, the general manager, is thinking with that bullpen. So do they tonight, the Blue Jays close the door on the Dodgers, or do the Dodgers extend and make it a Game 7?
I'm still not over the fact that the Phillies didn't beat the Dodgers and Rob Thompson making those mistakes and those, having those brain.
I think they would have beat both these teams.
I don't know about the Blue Jays, but they definitely would have beat the Brewers. I mean, and listen, before the World Series started, I came on your show and I said the value's on the Blue Jays. I mean, you're getting almost 2-1 on your money, and they can hit anyone. They hit in crucial moments. They put up football scores, 10, 12, 13 runs, and that Dodgers bullpen isn't that good. The next game, the Dodgers got probably their best pitcher on the mound, Yamamoto, but he's only like a 40-cent favorite, minus 140. I think the Blue Jays win the World Series, and I think they might end against Yamamoto. So, they just got the bats. They're red hot. It's kind of like a conundrum, this Blue Jays team, because their run differential wasn't that great.
No.
If you look at the guys in their lineup, it seems like they're never slumping. They're always on fire. So even though the pitching wasn't that great, their hitters can hit anyone, and they're putting up big, like I said, 10 runs, 11 runs throughout the playoffs. And they're real resilient. I mean, they went down 0-2 in the one series, and they came back and won. This is a very resilient, very cohesive baseball team. and they probably won the World Series this year.
You're right. They were 0-2 against Seattle, and they came back and won that series against Seattle and made their ticket into the World Series. I think that series really set them up because that Guerrero, I'll tell you what, you can talk all you want about Shohei Ohtani. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is knocking the cover off the ball. I think I only saw Barry Bonds and A-Rod have had a better World Series in recent memory than what Vlad Guerrero's doing right now. He's hitting like 425 or something.
And his father wasn't that bad either.
His father, I asked Bob Nightingale the other day, the legendary writer from USA Today, I go, do you think this kid's better than his dad? He goes, I don't know, but he keeps doing what he's doing. He's going to make that argument.
Yeah.
My friend, tell folks how they can find you.
Find me on X at Philly Godfather. The website's thephillygodfather.com. And if you want to pick up an autographed copy of the hottest selling book this year, My Life Story Booked, you can go to phillybooked.com. If you want to, if you can't wait, go to Amazon, ship the order. It'll be out the next day. But if you order from phillybooked.com, it might take 3 to 7 business days.
Brother, we'll catch you next week. Thank you so much, man. As always fun.
Good luck, guys. Keep firing.
You got it. That is our friend, Philly Godfather. Folks, I will tell you about our friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. They defend families like yours. They don't get paid unless you win, whether you're hurt at the job, anywhere. Do me a favor. The easiest decision, defending your family, will be Morgan & Morgan. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sales sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Next week, it's Packer week. Packer week. Everyone, have yourself a safe Halloween tonight. Have yourself a great football Saturday with college football and Sunday with the NFL. We will see you on Monday, 2 to 6. Have yourself a great one. Xander, Big Joe, thank you. 2 to 6 Monday. We'll see you on the flip side.